Okay, I think I'm live. Yeah, looks like it. Jason, you are first. Welcome. And for now, you've got that #1 crown. Hold on to it for dear life. Don't give it up. So guys, before we even get started, smash the like button, hit the subscribe thing, do the bell thing, and yeah, let me just go ahead and link to the video we're watching in case, because this is going to be a long one. So we reacted to Brian here. What's up, Felix? We reacted to Brian already. Jake from Plant Geezer debated him. And believe that was after he had debated Carnism Debunked, George Martin. And we were going to watch it the other day, but then I saw it was 1 hour and 15. And I've already put myself through it. So, guys, I've already lived this trauma, but I thought I'd share the trauma with all of you so that we could trauma bond. And, I'm just going to warn you, George got destroyed during this debate, and he's still not fully recovered from it. So, please do send your condolences to George. And let's see what happened. Just want you to see the title here: Destroyer of Vegans Demolishes Name the Trait in Fiery Debate. I like the rhyming, name the trait in fiery debate. I wonder if that was intentional. What's up, Mary? What's up, Jake? Nice to see you guys. How you guys been? Did you have a good day? Oh. All right. I'm sorry to do this to you, but I got to do it. When I interviewed George, this is one of the things I used to prepare. Because I wanted to see how could I too destroy George, but I don't have the skills that this Brian guy does. This is Brian something Davies. All right, let's get into it.
To my audience.
Hang on, back up.
Would you like to introduce yourself to my audience?
By the way, we're going to stare at him the whole time, unfortunately.
Yeah, of course.
Not making a comment about him, but we don't see George.
Yeah, so my name's George. I run the YouTube channel. It's called George Martin Carnism Debunked.
No shame.
Also run the Carnism Debunked website.
No shame.
I've been a vegan for must be like 11, 12 years now, and an animal rights activist for most of those years. Yeah, and
I had a great day. Thanks for asking, Mary. I think it was a good day. I think I would classify it as a good day. I mean, nothing bad happened.
Mainly active on social media and stuff like that, putting out a lot of content to attempt to convince people of the arguments for animal rights, I guess.
Excellent. I'm EB3, Debate Me Bro YouTuber, pretty much since the start of YouTube. I've been around a long time. I've debated a lot of vegans.
I mean, keep in mind, this guy's been debating since the start of YouTube, so of course he's going to be really good at it.
And recently, George's channel has come onto my feed as I'm trying to leave Google and YouTube. And I'm like, well, he seems lively.
What's up, Alicia? Nice to see you.
Reached out to him, he reached back, and here we are. So I've debated a long line of vegans over the last 20 years. And obviously, I've just watched your antenatal video, yeah? So obviously, you know firsthand, there's many different variations of vegans all believe different things, right? Yeah, so like, give me your philosophical, moral position. I take it from what I've listened to thus far, you're like, you sort of adopted the utilitarianism approach. You utilitarian?
I don't actually know what my normative ethics are at the moment. That is something that I'm going to have to look more into. So I don't specifically describe myself as utilitarian deontology. I imagine from the tiny bit of philosophical knowledge that I do have, I might be a threshold deontologist, but I'm not fully sure about that. So that's still something I guess I'm trying to explore. I'm fairly new to the philosophy game.
Okay, fine. So
I have no philosophical background or anything, so even a lot of the words that they throw out, I don't know. I don't even know what they mean. I don't feel like you always need them for these kinds of things, but I'm very impressed by the people who do have those abilities. You know, your Avi's, your Ask Yourself. Richard's got it. They know what they're talking about, at least to me. And again, as someone who has no background in it, they could be talking shit and I have no clue. They could just be saying whatever, the dumbest thing, but it sounds good in my head because they used a bunch of big words that I didn't know. So if you're ever, I guess, if you're ever engaged in a debate with me and you want to just impress me and win the debate, just use a bunch of words that you think I might not know, and I'll probably concede and whimper and go away.
why are you vegan?
Do you want the philosophical answer, or do you want just the story of how I went vegan and why?
Like in your core, why have you chosen this dietary, this diet?
Well, it's not a diet.
What is
Well,
it?
hang on.
About me?
First of all, as someone who's debated a lot of vegans before, Brian, you should know that it's not just a diet. But sure, you know, maybe that's a nitpick. Just going to point that out, though, right off the bat.
What compelled you to be a supposed vegan? Explain that to me, and then I will know your philosophical position. And I
see. Yeah, I just reject the idea that animals should be slaves for humans. I don't think there is any.
I know it's quite late in the UK, and George is a busy guy. I'm hoping we'll see him though, because I would like to ask him how this even came about. Like who invited who, that sort of thing. So if you're out there, George, lurking or whatever, let us know how this happened. But UK time is quite late in the UK.
Way to humanely kill someone who doesn't want to die, and I value animals as sentient beings who value their own lives and don't want to suffer in the same way that we don't want to suffer. And I see no moral justification, I guess, to pay for their enslavement, abuse, murder in what's happening when we can just be vegan.
Okay, and do you vote? Are you a voter?
Oh yeah. Here we go with the voting already. But just first of all, that was just a very clear, easy answer that George gave. Seems pretty easy to understand. Seems like the proper thing that we ought to do with regards to animals. I don't see any issue with it. What say you, Brian?
Have you ever voted?
I did one year. I voted for my mum when she ran in the local elections one year. But apart from that, no, there's none of the UK parties really massively aligned with my views.
Okay, so you've never voted apart from that once.
Yes. Yes.
Okay. Do you believe in God, or are you a God-fearing man? Right.
No, atheist.
When you use the word justification, what's your definition of that? What does that mean to you, justification? Because to me, the word justified etymologically means glorious in the eyes of God. Right. I don't know any other meaning in that. So if you're not a God-fearing man, what does justified mean in your standing?
Well, it's hard to exactly describe what that means either way, whether you believe in God or whether you don't, because ultimately, in either case, the other person's just going to disagree and say, well, if you ask me, I'd just say it's from the victim's standpoint. the victim doesn't want it to be done to them, and they should be the moral authority and that over any supernatural being, obviously, in my opinion.
Okay. Do you know that it's impossible scientifically to wash a piece of fruit or vegetable or clapping your hands without killing tens and thousands and hundreds of thousands of microorganisms?
Yeah, but
scientifically.
Yeah.
What's that got to do with animals, though, Brian? All right, so I should preface this that I have watched this, but it was weeks ago, and it's pretty incoherent from Brian's point of view. So this is, well, it's not a fresh reaction. I'm going to be reminded, so we can sort of, anyway, I would classify it as sort of fresh,
See, they have no moral value because they're not sentient beings.
Oh, they're not what?
Sentient beings.
I do remember a few of the zingers that he throws out there, though. We'll get to them.
Things.
And you know that how?
Through science. They don't have a brain or a central nervous system. Like that would be a. Do you not think you're trivializing actual suffering and death there when you mention stuff about microorganisms? Like if I was to compare 9/11 to washing my hands or something, that would obviously be a bit of a trivialization of what happened, right?
Depends on point of view. Like if you've invoked science, you're looking at it scientifically, right? Yeah. So if you was to beam out of Earth and look at the cosmos and the galaxy, all life on Earth is a microorganism in compared to the rest of the galaxy. Do you agree?
Well, it depends what. It still has moral value, so I don't. That just seems like an apples and oranges comparison there. If you're talking about life on Earth, that it doesn't matter how small it is in comparison to the galaxy. The sentient life on it still values their existence and suffers and feels pain.
Yes, but there are other forms of life that you are less caring of because you can't hear them scream, and as far as you're aware, have no sentience.
Well, yeah, it's the difference between punching an old lady in the face and punching a punching bag at the gym.
Yeah, but what makes you think? But what makes you think the rest of the galaxy as a whole cares about your moral values on an individual basis?
Oh, it's not about whether they care about it. It's
right
not
then,
about
so you agree. The universe doesn't care that you have some moral system as a microorganism. Right?
Yeah, it doesn't care about yours either.
I'm not saying it does.
All right. Right, yeah, but look, I think we'll get sidetracked into some crazy theological discussion if we go into this. So let me advance the argument for animal rights from a theory neutral standpoint, and as in
you don't vote.
Here he is on voting again. He really thinks he's got us with the voting thing. So by the way, I'll spoil the ending. If you've ever voted, you're not vegan. Sorry to break that to you. I had to discover this the hard way myself. And so, yeah, I no longer call this a vegan channel because I'm not vegan, because I vote in all the elections that I can.
Don't agree with
what does that have to do with?
Because rights are a legal aspect of life, right? Yeah. But,
but if there was
conjured up by the legislators,
yeah,
no, rights are a concept of the mind that are agreed to by that are written up by legislators, right?
Okay,
and you're not a voter.
So, no, rights don't necessarily have to be what the legislators have drawn up. There's a more nuanced take on that, like the right to life, that sort of thing. Like that doesn't have to be a law. Be nice if we had a right to life for animals in law. It's what a lot of people are working towards and hoping for. But yeah, I still consider animals having a right to life, even though they don't have that written by a bunch of cowardly lawmakers.
If there was a party in the UK that aligned with my principles, I'd vote for them. But there currently isn't.
But even if there was, right, yeah, listen, I've debated many vegans who are voters. The majority, 90% of all the vegans I've ever debated are voters.
Yeah. I find a lot of vegans don't vote. I think it's sad that they don't, but that's their choice. But whatever. I don't know where this guy's located or who the vegans are that he's talking to. Um, yeah, we could get into the whole like, should you vote kind of thing. I've had some discussions with people about that. My position is yes, you should vote. But I understand why people don't vote.
And most of them are utilitarians as well. And they give me the argument that if I buy a chicken at the retail level, when I'm telling the chicken people at a production level through to go and kill more chickens. Yeah, but that's not logically coherent, is it? Because the meat industries and or but the slaughterhouses, right? Yeah, and the farming industries are granted their permits by the government, which are legitimized by the voters that vote for them, right? Yeah, whether you have
which is why I don't vote, because all those parties.
Yeah, so what's the point in bringing up this issue that doesn't apply to George, other than it's your go-to? It's the thing that you think owns the vegans and kind of derails. Let me check the chat. It is distraction. All those years of being vegan invalidated. Damn ballot box. I know. I know. I mean, politicians do set us back quite a bit when it comes to progress for animal rights. But that's not because people voted. That's because we didn't have great options to begin with. Wouldn't it be great if we had someone run for president or your council or whatever it is that had animal rights as their focus, as they have in Australia? What's that? Animal Justice Party or something? AJP? God, I wish we had an AJP. Thank you, Aaron P. A little busy right now. Someone just threatened to dox you. Okay. You know what? Aaron, you keep on getting all these trolls. First of all, let's make sure you get some subs during this stream. I think a lot of these people are already subbed to you, but let's put your link in the chat so that people can sub to your channel, because the more good people you have around you, then the less these trolls will have an impact. And all this doxing shit, like, you know what? Fuck them, Aaron. Like, fuck those people. Like, let them stew in it and, waste their fucking time if they want. And if they succeed in doxing you, Aaron, just invite us all over and we'll all come over to your house. And if they want to come up and roll up on your house, then they'll have to get through me and Mary. So
I support the whole.
Fuck these people that you're dealing with. It sucks that, for people that don't know Aaron, like Aaron, you're like the nicest guy. Like the way that you treat people in your stream with respect, you're always, including everybody. You're always really sweet to everybody. It pisses me off that you've got people like that. But don't let them get to you. Like don't give them more power than they have.
Wholesale exploitation and slavery of animals.
And where do animals get their rights from if not through a derivative power like government?
Well, they can't actually at the moment be granted those legal rights. So that's my job as an animal rights activist. That's what I'm pushing for. They have to be granted. So
and how are you doing that? How are you pushing for that?
Well, through advocacy and activism, the same as any injustice in history, the same as abolition of slavery, for example.
You mean like by what you're doing now, debating people like me online and stuff like that and whatnot?
Yeah, sure. So at the time of slavery, if we had the internet, I would be online demanding an end to slavery against people who supported it.
Slavery still exists today.
I know it does. I'm an animal rights activist.
Right.
Great answer. Great answer, George. He wasn't ready for that, was he? Slavery still exists today. I know that. That's why I'm an animal rights activist. Fuck yeah. That was the best, George.
Hold on. Let's just. This is just going to be very messy and cluttered if we do it this way. So let me advance animal rights from something that hopefully will fit in with your own moral system. So we'll do the whole name the trait thing if you know about that.
Let me put George on the screen, since this guy's the since we're staring at this guy. Is that blocking? I wrote a lot.
Yeah, feel free to say what you need to say so I can respond.
All right, awesome. So I would like, I guess, to convince you that the argument for animal rights is valid from your own.
Maybe we should do that, right? This angle is weird. Hang on. It's not like y'all can really see me that well. I'm down in the corner, but I can shift it so I can go do his angle. Hang on. Is that it? It's weird. Anyway, I'll try to do this for as long as I can. Get a nice view of the beard, like him. Should have worn my tarantula sunglasses like he had on for the last debate. He did look like a tarantula.
Um,
And I don't mean to, be rude. It was just the glasses. Okay, it was the glasses and the beard combined. He looked kind of tarantula-like. I'm not saying I'm like more handsome than this guy. And I'm not fishing for compliments. Don't be like you are. But it's I'm not trying to say I'm like a good-looking guy or anything.
Normative ethic, whatever it is. So I guess I'll ask you the whole name the trait question, right? So I basically hold it that there's no morally relevant difference between humans and animals.
My favorite part of It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia was when Mac was like talking about something, and they were like lying to each other, and Charlie was talking to him, and Mac did this whole thing. He's like, "No, I don't have that." And then Charlie was like, "Oh, his neck's high. Makes me trust him." I love that. I can't recreate it, but it was funny.
Would justify killing one but not the other. So, and I believe that you could answer this question consistently, but the vast majority of people that you ask this question will have an inconsistent position. And this is just what I'm trying to advance. I believe that humans are extremely inconsistent with their position on humans in comparison to what they are to animals.
Even though I said, don't call me handsome, I kind of wanted y'all to do that, and then nobody did. So now I'm sad.
So I guess my
whatever
question to you would be, well, first of all, if we were to round up and start gassing and slitting the throats of humans for burgers, for shoes, for handbags, would you support that?
I'm not a killer. I've not killed any of these animals at a production level, right? Well, I've just listened to your antenatal thing, right? Yeah, and you use the word "we do this, we do that" a lot. So you're a collectivist. You've got a collectivist mind, right? Yeah, where you look at all the endeavors of mankind as sort of like the responsibility of everyone on Earth, right? Yeah, whereas then you try and invoke like animal rights and legality. That's right, yeah. But in law, under the legal system, in the English tongue being spoken that me and you are exchanging words in right now, I, as an individual, I'm only responsible for my actions, not the actions of other people. If someone kills a chicken, right, yeah.
So why do you pay people to kill the chickens for you? So you're saying that you're not responsible, even though you handed them the money. You ever heard of like what a hitman is? If you pay a hitman to kill someone, you're still responsible, Brian.
The voters allowed them to do it, right? Yeah, I'm not going to allow that animal to die in vain, so I'm going to eat that chicken, for example.
Mm-mm.
But
Right?
you obviously understand the concept.
No, I'm not, Jason. Definitely not. But thank you. And thank you, Mary. Yeah, I was hoping that everybody would like just jump on there and be like, "What? Jeremy, you're so handsome. Like, what are you talking about? That's crazy." And nobody did until I solicited it. Sometimes if you do things like that, you throw something out there like, "I'm not handsome," then you'll get the compliments to come in. But it's always a humbling moment when they don't, when they, then you have to reckon it's risky business is what I'm saying. You take a big chance when you throw that out there, because then they don't come in, then it's all confirmed for you. Oh, right, right. Sorry, I'll get serious. We'll talk. Let's focus on the debate.
Concept of supply and demand, right? So
yes, at a production
right.
level, the supply and demand argument doesn't apply to me at a retail level.
Yeah, it does.
Of course it does. You're demanding for the animals to be killed and put on the shelves.
Well, let me defeat your argument then, right? Yeah.
This,
Supply
by the
and
way,
demand, right? Yeah.
this is just like the Jake debate, Plant Geezer, where trying to explain supply and demand to this guy, it just doesn't take. Again, supply and demand to me is just a very, very simple concept. Remember when I was talking about some of the philosophical debate stuff goes over my head a little bit? Not the supply and demand. That's simple. I get that. That's pretty easy. It's like cracking the Da Vinci Code for some people, though. It's like they are doing all these numbers flashing across their face, right in front of them. They're trying to solve supply and demand. It's easy. You buy the product, they replace the product.
You're trying to claim that at a retail level, if I buy a chicken pie, I'm telling the chicken companies at some production level to kill more chickens. That's your argument, right?
Yeah.
In a nutshell. Right. So at a retail level, you're invoking a legality called legal tender. Right. Yeah. I'm purchasing something legally in accordance with the English laws and that govern this island. Right. Yeah. Govern the science behind all of the chicken pie with all the ingredients and everything that's on there. Right. Yeah. So with my legal tender, I purchase this chicken and I get my change for it, whatnot. It's an exchange of goods, and I go home. I'm happy with it. If at a production level they take these calculations on board, right, yeah, and think, well, we're gonna double these amount of chicken pies because they're popular and people are buying them, so we're gonna kill twice as much chickens, right? Yeah, that wager. That supply and demand argument is on a production level, and that's a wager between them and the government. If, say, they kill all these chickens and nobody buys them, the government comes in and seizes their assets if they can't pay their taxes. They don't come for me at a retail level.
All right.
Hang on. One more. 30 seconds.
All right, go on.
10 more seconds. 10 more seconds, please.
Go on.
Because you invoked as a vegan a legality at a retail level, which is legal tender purchasing something, right? Yeah. Let's look to the law. Let's look to the legal aspects of life. Am I, as an individual, legally responsible for the actions of others in law, criminally or otherwise? And the answer to that is, before you interrupt, because I know you don't like this answer, is no. The reason.
No. I don't think he has a problem with that answer. That's not what he's saying. He's not saying you're legally responsible for this, but you're responsible because you gave them your money to do this and to perpetuate it. Obviously, there's limits to your power as a consumer. It's not always a one-to-one. It doesn't mean that it doesn't mean that if you don't buy a product, they'll stop making the product because you're one of many people. Obviously, we understand this. You don't understand it, but we understand it. However, if you did the opposite and you gave them money, like, why would you put your weight? Like, let's just say you have a small weight to put on something. Why would you put your weight towards the production of the animal products if you, as you're going to claim to be, I believe in this debate, are against it? Then you should shift that over to the plant-based products, shift the demand over to those products, And then your grocery store will hopefully over time start to notice that, oh, you know what? Our plant-based products are doing better. Because you know what, Jake? He switched over from buying the steak to the Beyond Steak or whatever. It's not complicated, Brian. God damn it.
Why I'm trying to
Okay.
talk to you is the reason why I'm trying to talk to you is without being interrupted.
No.
And I won't interrupt you.
It's not.
It's because every other vegan I've ever debated on this earth, right? Yeah, can't handle these arguments. They invoke supply and demand, and then I tell them
I'm gonna need to put that on the screen. Thank you, Honest Dollar. We might leave that up for a bit. That was nice.
that you've invoked illegality, and I'm not legally responsible for the actions of others. And then their argument's crippled, and then they
praising me is a good way to get on the screen if you want to be on the screen.
want to move on to some other subject.
Okay.
Can you address my point? Am I legally responsible for the actions of others?
You're legally responsible for your own actions. Anyway, right. Do you agree? Would you agree with rounding?
Look how unhappy he is that he just dealt with it and then moved on. Look how butthurt he got. Oh, that was
the actions of others.
You're legally responsible for your own actions. Anyway, right. Do you agree? Would you agree with rounding up and gassing and slitting the throats of humans for burgers and pizzas?
I'm not a killer, so I wouldn't agree with that.
Okay.
Oh,
cool.
Okay. Do you agree with it for well, I shouldn't jump in. Yes, George gets to talk. If I would shut up, he can talk. Yeah, he can talk. Yeah, he could talk. I know you did, Mary. I know you did. But you didn't praise my activism like Honest Outer did. So you need to be a little more praise. A little more praise will get you on there. I'm just kidding.
So you have the same answer as most people with that. Okay. Do you agree with rounding up, gassing, slitting the throats of chickens, cows, and pigs to turn them into burgers, pizzas, and so on?
I don't agree with it, no. But if you're going to do it, I'll eat them after you've.
Oh, you don't agree with it, but if you do it, yeah, I'll give you my money.
Done it. Why not?
So principally you're a vegan, but you're like you just believe there's a disconnection from the supply chain.
I use this argument against utilitarians. I say under the blanket of utilitarianism, I'm more of a vegan than you as a vegan who votes, and I eat meat according to their own philosophy.
So you reject animal slavery. You don't believe animals should be oppressed.
I don't agree with the slaughterhouses or anything like that, right? Yeah. However, I'm not the one giving them the permits and granting them permission to do it. And whether it be a slaughterhouse or you as an individual that kills an animal in front of me, like a chicken, for example, and just leaves it, I'm going to eat it. I'm not going to allow it to die in vain. Right? Yeah. Nevertheless, if no one was doing that, I'd probably go out and hunt my own pheasants or something. Right, yeah, because I'm an Englishman. This is my land, and pheasants go well with other vegetables, and I can forage and hunt my own food. Right? Yeah, I don't need to rely on the state.
No, Mary, it's like you're so consistent that if I was to put up the praise from you on the screen, everybody would be like, yeah, well, of course, Mary said that. Yeah.
And that's another argument with the vegan diet, right? Yeah, a vegan diet. You say you're not a voter, but as a vegan, a strict vegan diet, according to PhD doctors, right? Yeah, is a killer diet without supplements from the state. So you rely on the state, the vitamin supplements, which is an offshoot of the pharmaceutical company, in order to keep you alive. So look,
no.
There's man, and then there's government, which is a concept of man, which has agents to represent it. And then they create policies which allows vitamin companies to create their products, which keeps you vegans alive. So a diet.
No. So the vitamins that you can get as a vegan are vegan. So no. If the pharmaceutical industry produced nothing but vegan products, then I'd be like, fuck yeah, pharmaceutical company. What a badass company / industry. It's not that way. So, I mean, they are quite evil. But what's the company that I use whenever I need some vitamin? It's Diva, DEVA. Look them up if you need a good vitamin. They're vegan.
That you have to adhere to, right? Yeah, makes you subordinate, right? Yeah, to concepts of man that are 4 times removed from the principle.
But this is the
Right,
same
yeah.
as any. We're all reliant on the system somehow to get our nutrients, aren't we?
No, I'm not reliant on government for anything.
Yeah, you are. Yeah, you are, because you go and you pay for products at the supermarket. Why do these people always like imagine themselves, and they're never in the woods hunting, foraging. They all imagine themselves to be, and they're never there. They're never doing that. They're always actually, like, in front of a microphone like I'm doing right now. I'm not pretending to be some, like, living off the grid, whatever, like doing this or that. And this guy who says he's been doing this since the beginning of YouTube. So for a very long time, he spent a lot of time on his computer doing this, relying on the internet, relying on the companies to produce his computer, relying on all sorts of things to do what he's doing. But yeah, sure, okay, guy. Yeah, you're liver king. You're primal. It's amazing. Liver King, for the one or two of you who don't know who that is a clown. By the way, he has become quite an interesting clown, hasn't he? Wow. Like, I admit that I do. One of my guilty pleasures is watching people on YouTube self-destruct. It is quite interesting.
Of course you are. You'd
No, I'm
starve
not.
to death just like every other mass
Why?
starvation in history.
I know how to forage my own edibles and hunt my own food.
That's what every African says. That's what everyone in the Great Leap Forward said.
I'm not lying to you. I'd only be lying to
Okay.
myself. I don't need to
Yep.
lie to anyone. You have no power
Okay.
over me to lie to you.
Yeah.
I can hunt. I can show you the books now that teaches you all about wild edibles in England.
Yeah.
But yeah, I can hunt and forage my own food. I don't rely on the state. I don't mind using it as a convenience, but I don't rely on it. I don't need it. I have my own life skills.
Okay. But you would be absolutely fucked without any kind of modern technology. Face it. Like,
No.
you wouldn't know how to fashion clothes. You wouldn't have. You would find it very hard to survive. You're completely reliant on the rest of society.
No. I'm
So
not.
you think you'd invent all this stuff?
Well, I'm pretty sure he probably knitted that sweater for himself. Yeah, I'm pretty sure he probably used a knife that he chiseled out of, what do you call it? He made the knife and then shaved his beard into that pattern with the knife, and his hair, he cut his hair that way. He made those headphones from his bare hands, guys. Maybe he used the knife. I'll grant him the knife. Maybe he used that. But no, everything, George, everything that he's using on the screen, he did it himself. What about you, George? Psst, probably bought it at the store.
What you want about? It's already been invented. I don't rely on
the
it.
question I asked you is if you would be if you'd be
If
able
the
to,
government,
if, it
if the
wasn't here.
government, if the government shut down tomorrow, I can hunt and forage my own wild edibles, right? Yeah, and food. I'm not reliant on the government for anything whatsoever.
Well, you are, unless you were doing those things. So this again, I said it, I think, the last time I streamed. We're not even dealing with brain rot anymore. We're dealing with just brain dead. We're just purely brain dead people at this point. And that's where we are as a society, just like straight up fucking brain dead. Because the vast majority of the people out there, brain dead. I mean, this guy's exceptional. His brain deadness is exceptional, but yeah.
I've already got clothes. And let's jump onto the other scientific argument. Did you know the scientific community abuses roughly 200 million animals per year? And every time you use devices like this that you're communicating to me on now, you're telling the scientific community to go and abuse more animals, no differently to the supply and demand argument you tried to give me.
Well, we can't compare the whole microparts in technology as a result of there being a global mass atrocity to actually directly funding that. Although you don't seem to, you believe that there seems to be some kind of disconnection there. But I'm still not convinced on your point that you say you don't agree with slaughterhouses, but then it seems you do agree with killing animals for nutrition.
What you on about? I don't agree with slaughterhouses. It's not I'm not responsible for the actions of others, but I don't mind killing an animal if I'm hungry.
Okay, all right. Okay, let's go on that then. Okay, and would you agree with killing a human if you were hungry?
If needs be, if needs be, right? Yeah, but no, that would be murder. Logically, right? Yeah, I don't mind eating someone that's died in a survival type scenario, like kind of.
Well, he's already drawn a distinction to they have to have died. Then he doesn't mind. So we're already reaching a disconnect there. Yeah. I realize this, watching this debate is kind of like punching down. We're just observers, though. We're like scientists, just observing, taking notes, watching the collapse of our society. But, yeah.
A boat or a desert island or something of that nature. If someone died naturally, that's one thing, but killing another man or woman or child in order to sustain my own life, that's murder, premeditated.
What's up, Lewis?
Okay, okay. So I guess the question I'd ask you is, what is it that's true of, say, a deer or a pheasant that, if true of a human, would cause you to say it was justified to shoot that human and eat them?
Well, you invoked animal rights. I don't know of any animal that invokes them themselves. Like, yeah, rights are a concept of man, right?
I can't remember. I think I've watched now so many name the trait debates lately. And for the last 5 or 6, I feel, we've never even gotten one attempt at an answer. I've seen attempts, but we haven't. Most of these have been just getting derailed as the people are completely unable to even answer the question. I can't remember if he does or not. Let's see. I think he does sort of accidentally answer at some point.
Yeah, that give people legal protections, right? Yeah.
Yep.
If an animal can tell me not to kill it because it doesn't want me to, then I'll probably be inclined not to.
So let's say there was a human who couldn't tell you not to kill them. Would you think it was okay to kill them?
I don't eat humans or man.
Yeah.
I don't. Listen.
I know, because you believe it's murder, right? You believe it would be wrong.
No, in the code of conduct of man, the English tongue you and I are communicating in, it's classified as murder, premeditated murder.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Right. But killing an animal to sustain yourself, right? Yeah, isn't mankind has dominion over the animals?
And you agree with that, right? You agree that we have dominion over animals, and it shouldn't be murder to kill them.
It's a factor at play, whether I agree with it or not. Mankind has dominion over animals because.
So now he's invoked the Bible.
Of the consciousness and sentience you've alluded to.
But I'm talking here about your own moral.
It's an interesting combination to try to invoke all these scientific concepts and the Bible and jumble them all together, in my opinion.
I'm trying to convince you of the arguments for animal rights from your own moral system here. So yes, I know these things are happening, just like rape is happening, and we don't agree with rape. But I'm talking. Are you sure? But from what I gather, you do agree that it's okay to kill animals for food. You do not agree that it's okay to kill humans for food.
Absolutely.
Okay. So I'm just trying to whistle it down to see what the morally relevant trait difference is between those.
Wow. It was like interesting to sort of get an answer from him finally that wasn't some kind of meandering response to obfuscate what he was trying to say or not say.
Two beings. So I'm just going to re-ask you again. What is it that's true of animals that, if true of humans, would cause you to say it was okay to round up and gas and stab and shoot humans for a burger?
What is it that's true of animals? That is
Yes.
true
It's not difficult.
of humans.
That,
I
if
don't know
true-
what. Listen. I don't adhere to some of these terminologies. You
When the headphones come off, that's how you know he's real frustrated. I don't know why. It's like his ears are getting hot or something. He has to take the microphones off. I mean, the headphones. Sorry, the headphones. Sorry, I'm dumb.
using.
Sure,
Like that.
sure.
I don't know what a human is. There's
All right, I
no
can
such
refer-
word in my holy scripture. Right there. There's man, women, and
No,
children.
Lewis.
Man, woman, and child. There's men, women, and children. Right
Okay,
there.
we'll
But Lewis, we're doing it together. Look at his face right now.
do children then. That's
Humans,
fine.
right?
All right, let's do children then. That's fine. Okay.
Right.
You would.
Right
Okay,
there.
we'll do
Right
children.
there. There's man, women, and children.
I just don't understand that move with the headphones.
Man, woman, and child. There's men, women, and children. Right
Okay,
there.
we'll do children then. That's
Humans,
fine.
right?
All right, let's do children then. That's fine. Okay.
Right.
You would obviously agree, just like most sane, rational people, that killing children for food would be wrong.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. Right. So, what is it that's true of animals that, if true of a child,
Felix.
would make it justified to kill that child for food?
He is. And not a very good one. So if his hunter-gathering skills in real life are as good as his hunter-gathering skills for excuses, then I don't think things bode well for him in the zombie apocalypse. Or let's just call it the Trump apocalypse, because that's more likely.
What is
Absolutely.
Absolutely. Right. So, what is it that's true of animals that, if true of a child, would make it justified to kill that child for food?
Nothing.
The thing is, it has to be something, because there has to be a certain set of traits about animals that's making you say that it's okay to kill them. So the reason
mankind, according to the scripture, all right. Yeah.
Okay.
According to the scripture, mankind has dominion over animals.
We're back to the scripture now. Okay. All right. Let's do the scripture.
Insects and creatures and bacteria and whatnot are discovered every day and named.
Yeah.
Mankind and if there was a predator to man out there, right, they'd have dominion over mankind, right? Yeah. Do you shed a tear, morally or otherwise, every time you see a zebra being killed by a tiger or lion?
It does upset me when I see wild animals suffering. Yeah, I don't like it.
Well, regardless of whether you like it or not.
Well, he answered your question, didn't he? So now you seem flustered, Brian A. Davies.
Justified. You're the one using the word justification. The fact that the lion hunts down the zebra is perfectly justified on this earth, in the universe, under God, however you wish to describe it. It's justified.
And why is that? Could that possibly be, Brian, in your worldview, that it's because the lion has to? Whereas, Brian at the supermarket does not have to? Huh, Brian?
Okay, so it's all right. So you're invoking the whole religious argument. Okay.
No. You invoked it.
Yes.
Invoked it.
No, you did.
Invoked it.
No, you did.
You invoked it by using the word justified. You didn't know the word. You used the word justification, and you didn't know the word. You didn't know the etymological meaning of the word.
No, we're going by your moral system here. I'm going to convince
Lewis, we have to do it. I'm sorry to put you through it again, but it must be done. I don't make the rules. I just follow the rules of the universe.
you that you either have an inconsistent moral position on humans and animals, or that you could have a consistent position on it. Maybe you do have a consistent position. We're going to find that out. Okay. So if the Bible granted us dominion over children and said that we can kill them for food, would it be okay?
He's going to really struggle with if.
To enslave children.
It does say that in a roundabout way. It does say that in a roundabout way.
Oh, he didn't. Okay.
It says, the Holy Scripture says, man.
Okay, so are you pro child murder? Is that what you're saying?
Kind can use anything from seed, and you and I come from seed.
So you do agree that we can
No,
gas
I
and stab
agree.
children?
No, I
Oh,
agree.
Brian.
Cannibalism exists.
I'm not
Oh, it exists. He's not. Yeah. Anyway, I'll let George talk.
asking you if it exists.
It's not my
This
palate.
isn't all right.
It's
We
not my
both
palate.
disagree.
Right,
It's not,
listen.
it's not your
Right,
palate.
listen. Yeah, you like.
Okay,
It's
so
like
if
beauty.
children,
It's like
so,
beauty. It's like beauty.
Okay.
Beauty is in the eye of the beholder. Right? Yeah.
Okay.
Right. What you find beautiful, I might not find beautiful, and vice versa. What you like to eat, I might not like to eat, and vice versa. Right? Yeah. Some people like to eat other human beings or mankind or whatever word that you wish to describe. Right? Yeah.
and is that
we are.
justified in your worldview that they
It's
do
just yeah, it's perfectly cannibalism is justified, right? Yeah, but in the English tongue, it's a crime, illegal. It's illegal.
that? Okay, but you don't agree with the British.
In the English tongue, it's a crime. This is very interesting. So, like, if the guy, again, brain dead, and we're giving it too much credit to even try to analyze it, but in the English tongue, so if there were a tribe of people cannibalizing others, where it wasn't a crime, and you taught them English, but didn't like enforce any laws or anything like that, you just taught them English, then it's a crime? Or was it a oh my god. Was it a crime before it makes no sense, Brian. Brian.
Law on it. You think it's morally acceptable to kill children for food?
No, I didn't say that. I agree with the law.
You do agree with the law. Okay, so you don't agree that it's okay to kill children for food. So I'm asking you now
No,
to
but the
name
scripture
trait.
says. But the scripture says.
Oh, but okay. So you don't agree. So only what you agree with is what the laws say, but then why do you keep going to the scripture to say this and that? You're all over the place.
Mankind can use anything from seed, so it's a choice, isn't it? You have a choice to be a cannibal.
And do
you have a
agree with the
choice to be a
scripture?
you have a choice to be a cannibal, whether regardless of any laws of man.
Right?
Do you understand that?
Yeah. Do you
Yes.
agree with the scripture when it
Absolutely.
says? So you do
Mankind.
think it's morally justified to?
Did you? Are you monetized on YouTube?
Yeah.
Right. So you signed a contract with Google and YouTube, right? Yeah. They are
Yep.
using you and you using them. Man can use anything from seed. You're just not being used for food, or perhaps you are. I don't know. In a spiritual.
This is a good another zinger that I wasn't aware of. If you get monetized or someone, sends you money or something, also not vegan because you signed a contract, I guess. Yeah.
Sense, but you're being used and you are using other men, right? Yeah, and other men are using you. You're being used, just like it says in the Holy Scripture. So I don't see any difference to eating a chicken than Google paying you your wages.
Oh, okay. No difference between someone getting paid and you eating a chicken. That makes a lot of sense. Yeah, thanks for that wisdom. I feel smarter now. I mean, I think we all do. If you ever want to just feel smarter, you feel dumb one day, you're like you met someone like super smart and you felt dumb, just watch this and realize it can get a lot worse.
It's no different, man.
Yeah.
And
okay, but what I want to get here is if there's a morally relevant trait difference between humans, between animals and children that justifies enslaving and murdering one but not the other. I don't think there is one. I'm trying to find out if you think there is one.
Yeah, you said justification, and we're on about killing, right? There's a difference between killing and eating. I wouldn't kill another individual, man, woman, or child to eat. However, on a desert island type sort of scenario, survival thing, if one of them died, we'd all put them on a fire and eat.
Okay, he's jumbled all up again. And now he's talking about humans again, but he's saying there's a difference between killing and eating. But if you'll recall, he did say that he would go and kill animals He wouldn't wait for them to die naturally and then eat their rotting corpse.
All of us, because starvation will do strange things to an individual, including you. Don't think you're immune to this. Don't think you're.
Oh, you got him. You got him, Brian. Yeah, in a situation where George was starving, he might have different considerations than he does sitting at his computer talking to some clown who has access to a grocery store just as he does and can just eat vegan food. Yeah, he might have slightly different considerations in that situation. You got us. You got it. Another veganism owned again. We got destroyed, guys. We got destroyed. Well, George did. And, he'd be here. But the last time he was here, he said he was still recovering. And I think it's probably safe to say he succumbed to those wounds. So rest in peace, George. Rest in peace. Let's have a moment of silence for George Martin. Another vegan bites the dust. Courtesy of Brian. I also fear for George's remains because it sounds like this guy might consume him.
Moral stances would outweigh starvation, because it wouldn't. Like, if you know anything about mankind, right? Yeah, you know what your limits are, and starvation isn't one of them. It will do strange things to you. So
Yeah.
during starvation, right? Yeah, it's perfectly acceptable. But killing another man, woman, or child to purposely eat, I don't agree with that.
However,
like using man, woman, and child to your own ends in order to put meat on the table, right? Yeah, is being done to you right now just by signing a simple cash monetary system contract with Google.
no, it's not. Google is not putting meat on his table, and no one is because he's vegan. Yeah, I mean, I know. Life's hard. Thinking is hard. I know, Brian. I know. Let's have a moment of silence for Brian's remaining brain cells. They too have succumbed to their wounds. This is a somber stream. Let's make sure we keep a somber, serious tone as well throughout this.
Yeah,
you're putting meat. You like, listen. Regardless of people giving birth to other people and stuff like that, you're putting meat. You're killing animals and putting that meat on other people's plates by being monetized on YouTube.
Again, this would devolve into a very long-winded and very boring conversation about directness of harm with like living in a society that pays this or that. But right now,
I don't live in a society.
Hold on. Right. I'm trying to.
I just want to say, like, I stumble across conversations like this, and the nice thing is you can walk away. I guess technically we could all just walk away from this right now, but we can't. I mean, we're locked in. We're locked in right now because we've made a commitment. You all signed the contract. I signed the contract. We're not going anywhere. But I don't know what I'm saying. Sorry. My brain cells are dying too.
I need you to be more linear and clear now because we're trying to figure out if you have a consistent position between killing children and killing animals for food, and the conversation's going a bit all over the place. And I don't want to dish Gallop a little bit. I don't want to dish Gallop.
Why are you comparing a child to an animal in the first place? That's just weird to me.
No, with the idea of name the trait is that you compare two different objects and you trait equalize them to see if you have a different position.
And so I'm asking why are you comparing these two different things? Like, why are you comparing a child?
He just told you.
Child to a chicken.
Because I'm trying to show you that from your own moral system, you potentially have an inconsistent position in not being vegan.
Why? If a chicken could speak English and say, we want rights, don't kill us, right? Yeah.
So is that the trait?
You'd have a logical argument.
Yeah,
a code of conduct, right? Yeah. You'd have a logical argument. Yeah, a code of conduct, right? Yeah, you
Okay.
keep invoking the word sentience and consciousness, right? Yeah, and suffering, but you have never witnessed these claims coming from another animal in any verbal context, in any code of conduct that you can
Yeah,
decipher to
and
me
I
right
haven't.
now.
Yeah,
Go
and
ahead.
that's why I don't believe speech is a morally relevant trait. But
Nice.
I take it that you do.
Well done.
I believe every single thing mankind has ever done, will do, and will do in the future is perfectly natural, no different to the lion hunting a zebra or the zebra
Yeah, and I'm pretty sure George would say here that what's natural is also not of huge concern to him.
eating grass,
Right,
or
but
vice versa.
something being natural doesn't make it justified, though. I'm sure we can. So anything men do is natural. That makes it okay.
What in the eyes of God? Absolutely.
So
Yeah, you have.
So what is this whole thing I hear about? I'm not a religious person, so okay. So just take all of anything I say about religion with a grain of salt. But what is this thing I hear about hell? That there's this place where it's all hot and fiery, and there's a devil down there with like little stabby objects, little pitchforks, and if you're bad, you go there. But I thought everything is okay according to God. What you just said, so I'm having trouble with the logic again. I don't even know. Like, where did hell come? Is hell in the Bible? I don't even know. We need Stephen again. Stephen, please. Yeah, Stephen shows up late in the streams, and right after we need him, he shows up. He shows up towards the end when all our questions have gone unanswered.
It's okay.
Only a paedophile would call it indecent images of children porn in the first place. It's not porn to a law-abiding, civilized individual. It's only porn to the paedophile. Porn is a legitimate aspect of life, right? Yeah,
What happened? How did we get on that?
Zebra or the zebra eating grass. Every single thing mankind has ever done, will do, and will do in the future is perfectly natural, no different to the lion hunting a zebra or the zebra eating grass.
Right,
Or
but
vice versa.
something being natural doesn't make it justified, though. I'm sure we can. So anything men do is natural. That makes it okay.
What in the eyes of God? Absolutely.
So
Yeah,
child
you have
porn is okay.
only
Okay, George brought it up.
only a paedophile would call it indecent images of children porn in the first place. It's only
No. No. Why does this guy speak so confidently? You know, the internet's been a great tool for a number of things, but you know, one of the things that it hasn't really been destructive is that people like Brian here, who used to just shout this kind of shit into the void, you know, now have a microphone and an internet connection and can spread it around to others. And irresponsible folk like me and George, sorry, George, we give him that. But it's a nice demonstration of how far we've dropped.
it's not porn to a law-abiding, civilized individual. It's only porn to the paedophile. Porn is a legitimate aspect of life, right? Yeah, that is adult entertainment for consenting adults. And
Yeah, but let's call it rape of children. Let's call it rape of children.
I never called it that. You did. So
well,
yeah,
call it
the
what
rape
you want.
of
It's not.
You wouldn't be here
justified,
today. You wouldn't be here today. Yes, it is. You
What?
listen to me. You turning your back on God and becoming evil and letting all the evil in to control you and doing evil, monstrous act is justified in the eyes of God. That's what's written in the scripture. You are free to do that, to turn your back on God and let all the evil in and commit evil acts. And you
What did he
do that.
say that George was like, what? Let me
It's
back.
adult entertainment for porn. It's not porn to a law-abiding, indecent images of children porn in the first place. It's only
This is going to get whatever warning on it. Oh, well, so much for our viewership. Not that we were getting many views anyway. All of it, Mary. All of it.
It's not porn to a law-abiding.
This is going to be the stream.
and civilized individual. It's only porn to the paedophile. Porn is a legitimate aspect of life, right? Yeah, that is adult entertainment for consenting adults. And
but rape of
let's
call it rape of children. Right, let's call it rape of children.
This guy just like, spends a lot of time wasting our time. Sorry, guys.
I never called it that. You did. So
well, call it
the
what
rape
you want. It's not.
You wouldn't be here today. You wouldn't be here today. Yes, it is. You
what?
You turning your back on God and becoming evil and letting all the evil into control.
So he just said rape is justified. Okay.
You and doing evil, monstrous act is justified in the eyes of God. That's what's written in the scripture.
You can typically call a debate at that point. When someone does say that, then it's pretty much over.
You are free to do that, to turn your back on God and let all the evil in and commit evil acts. And you doing that and being solely responsible for all the evil you do in this world and let in is justified, glorious in the eyes of God, because no one else did it to you. You did it to yourself. And having that choice, that freedom to be a righteous individual or an evil individual, right? Yeah. It was granted to you, and whichever way you turn is justified in the eyes of God. Otherwise, it wouldn't be a choice given to you in the first place.
Oh, so anything's justified in your worldview?
I'm worried about these headphones. They're taking a beating in this debate. I was going to mimic him, but then I realized that's not good for the headphones to keep on moving them around and bending them and doing all that he's doing. So these headphones are going to stay on my head where they belong.
But it doesn't make it righteous just because it's justified.
What the hell does that mean?
Right. Raping children isn't a righteous act.
My name is Cecilia. I'm a mom of 2 girls, a psychologist, and I choose to transform my PBC treatment journey with.
But it's justified?
How could it be otherwise? It's happening. God will send great evils upon those who deserve it, right? Yeah. And whatever.
Now we have to just play semantics with this idiot for a while, because this is how you avoid answering the pretty simple question that George asked that nobody can answer, because there is no answer that doesn't lead to insane revelations of your worldview.
Children deserve it?
Whatever's going on in life, right? Yeah. But how do you know they didn't rape someone in a previous life or rape children in a previous life and they are suffering the consequences of their own actions? Right. Yeah.
Dude, come on. Now we're going into cuckoo land.
Why? It's spirituality. Have you ever, you say you got a wife. Do you love her?
I mean, are you a Christian or now you're a Buddhist? So first you're referencing the Bible. Now so you believe in the Bible and you use that to justify things. Now you're trying to go to reincarnation to justify rape being okay. Dude, like, just sometimes, I'm sure we can all use this advice. Sometimes I'm sure I could use this advice. Sometimes you just stop talking, and that's the better option. You don't have to say everything that comes into your head.
Of course.
Oh, so can you prove love to me, or is it a spiritual aspect of life? Or are we entering into
and we just get back on topic? It's kind of stupid.
Land. Do you know what I mean? Yeah, you can't prove love. What? You can't prove any. Can you prove love to me? Can you prove your love to your wife to me now, or anyone else?
We can actually prove in the brain.
Or is it? No, you can't. Or is it a spiritual aspect of life?
No, there's like we have chemical hormones or whatever released, like oxytocin and all this kind of stuff when we're in love.
The brain and the mind are no less synonymous scientifically. Did you not know that?
But look, we're massively meandering now from the topic. My aim here was to come on and to try to convince you of
my aim. You might have that might have been your aim, but
try to convince you of
my aim was my aim. You might have that might have been your aim, but my aim was, and this is how I approached you, and we can go back to the principal start of everything, right? Yeah, I approached you saying I've never lost a debate versus a vegan ever in my entire life.
Okay,
and all you're trying to do, name the traits, right? Yeah, I've named you the trait. Can any of these sentient beings that you proclaim to care about that are not man, woman, or child?
By the way, he just a little ways back, he just said that he's never lost a debate to a vegan. And when he was talking to Jake, he said, the only debates I lose with vegans are to vegans who love animals. What did he say? Vegans who love animals. I forget. It was some buffoonery. But anyway, vegans who love animals, they're like pure or something in his view. There are the headphones again, taking a beating.
Right, yeah. Script a code of conduct between them and their own kind that I can decipher and interpret for myself and look at their rules.
I just don't understand this.
Script a code of conduct between them and their own kind that I can decipher and interpret for myself. And
that's a weird OCD tick that he's got, kind of weird thing on off. I know I'm harping on it. It's just weird. I'm finding it very weird. I have little ticks, little weird things. Maybe I don't even notice them. Like, I doubt he's even noticing he's doing this.
And look at their rules and look at their laws between their own species.
Yeah, maybe.
If they can't, then they're not on par with mine and who I am. Right, yeah, and whatever the fuck I am on this earth.
Okay,
that's true. And don't speak English. Oh, God, look. Every time I pause, it's like an action with the... I'll stop talking about it. But it's very interesting.
No different, listen to me, no different to the lion and zebra. Right, yeah? I won't eat any other animal no different to the lion and zebra and or insects or whatever, plant or vegetable.
So that's the trait, yeah, the having a code of conduct.
Well, can you, what's your argument against it?
Okay, the argument is this. If there was a human, a child...
We're getting somewhere. He didn't even mean to answer, but he's like, shit, damn it, I answered.
Who could not formulate a code of conduct, would it be justified on your moral worldview to slit their throat and eat them?
A code of conduct is already written on behalf of child, woman, and man.
No,
doesn't need to.
The trait,
what I asked was, the traits I'm on about.
True of animals, that if true of a human would justify killing that human. So that's the trait you're naming, and now you're getting right.
Your argument doesn't hold water.
Yeah, no. This is your argument. It's not my argument. It's yours.
I'm telling you why your argument doesn't hold water.
He's not making one at the moment.
I'm telling you, it's your argument that doesn't hold it. Your argument doesn't hold it.
That has applied to them before they're even born. Right? Yeah. Well, so any code of conduct of any animal that you're alluding.
This guy's going to need a new pair of headphones. I'm calling it. I'm calling it. Rest in peace. Let's have a moment of silence for those headphones. I told y'all guys it's been a really somber stream. A lot of death. All right, I'll shut up about the headphones, guys, but I can't with this. It's all I can focus on right now.
Yeah. Well, so any code of conduct of any animal that you're alluding to would have a code of conduct for them before they were born that I could go and reference. They do not have one. So there's the traits difference. There's the trait difference. Now, what's your argument against that?
Fu, you've missed a boat on crypto. Join the 30 million plus who trade from just $1 with MoonPay.
Those who answer the call of the vagabond know that the best stories aren't about...
This is the trait you're naming. So cannot create a code of conduct. Is that the trait?
For starters, it's a trait that to start
Calm
this
down.
process. I'm willing to entertain what your presupposition, right? Yeah, your loaded question. I've entertained it. The animals that you're referring to, that you're comparing to man, woman, or child, right? Yeah, doesn't have a code of conduct. Doesn't have a code of conduct. You are, because you're saying, so if a man, a woman, or child doesn't have a code of conduct, is it justified to eat them? Right. So, but the code of conduct is written for man, woman, and child before they are born. Your question makes no coherent sense.
I said if.
Yeah, if means
if a child had no code of conduct.
If is a conditional precedent, which means other factors must be relevant for this conditional precedent to be answered or be queried, right? Yeah, and the code of conduct for man, woman, or child is in place before they're born. I can reference it. Right, yeah?
Well, we have.
Do deers, but you mentioned deers. Do deers have a code of conduct for all the
Oh
deers?
my God, this guy's insufferable. Can you imagine knowing this guy? Oh man, it would be painful.
Deers that are born within their species and community that I can go and reference.
Well, they technically do. Even let's say that they didn't. Let's say that they don't. That's fine. You can.
No, but let's look at I want to look at the technical one. What's the technical one?
Right. This is.
No, I want to look at the technical one.
Naming.
You said they technically do. So what's this technical code of conduct that deers have?
Well, animals can communicate with each other, and they have
word, Lewis. I promise, not another word.
Little rules and stuff, and they.
I'm not saying they don't.
Right.
I'm saying what's the code of conduct that they have that I can decipher that says between themselves, like, yeah, they can't kill each other and they can't eat each other and they don't want to be hunted. They've got rights and they don't want to be hunted by mankind or something like that. Where can I decipher this information from?
Brian, just a word of advice. Just relax and answer the questions and then talk about what you said. This doesn't need to be this heated. George is being real chill and you're all worked up. And there's this little device on your head that you keep on messing with. I said I wasn't going to mention it, Lewis. I didn't say the name of what it is, but they're taking the brunt.
From any other the animal kingdom that I belong to.
I'm just going to grant that as true. Okay, that's fine. You can say
that's one.
Right,
so that's one.
Okay,
trait.
Okay, shut up, Brian. Shut the fuck up. Let George speak.
So you've got a list of traits. I can write these down. Okay, so 1, cannot create a code of conduct. What's your next trait?
Well, you require more than that.
No, it's up to you.
Okay.
I'm asking you, what is it that's true of animals that, if true of a child, would justify slitting that child's throat for a burger?
Yeah.
Now, this is your moral code we're going with here. You can name as many or as few traits.
No, but that doesn't make sense to me. That doesn't make sense to me. The argument should be, as far as I'm concerned, your question should be, what's true of a child, right? Yeah, or man or woman, that isn't true of an animal that allows you to eat the animal? Well, they're not my own.
Sure. Answer that then.
Kind for one, and we have a code of conduct and laws I adhere to, I think are righteous. Although I acknowledge that cannibalism is a trait of mankind and even legally protected in some areas of the world. Right? Yeah, there are tribes out there that practice cannibalism, and they are legally within their tribe allowed to do so.
But the point is, we're taking the traits about humans that you value that make it. Or we're taking the traits about animals that you think it makes it okay to actually do these things to them, and we're just seeing if that would hold up if it was a child.
But that makes no sense.
Why are you
doing that? Why are you doing that?
To see to probe to investigate your moral system.
Right.
Just
all right. Okay, here's another trait. Has any animal on this earth eaten man, woman, or child ever? Taken bites out of them and eaten them ever?
Just because a market has been that way for decades does not mean it can't.
More evidence of George not being vegan. He's monetized. He's getting all that ad revenue. It's George. He got you. He got you. You signed that contract with Google. Didn't you? Didn't you, George?
If so,
yeah.
That's fair game then. We can hunt any animal on Earth.
Well, that would be a category error because the animals that you eat tend not to do that.
It doesn't matter. So what do you mean category? What's the category error? Life on Earth.
Dude, sheep and cows do not eat humans, so you can't list that. And yet you're saying it's just to kill them because they eat humans.
No, of course. If everything man has done, will do, and will continue to do is perfectly justified. You keep using this word
for the content, Lewis. For the content. For the juicy, sweet content.
Justified.
Then what's the point in this debate then? Because if you just think anything humans do is justified, then how can I convince you of anything?
Yeah, but I didn't say righteous. Yeah, and there's a difference between justified and righteous. I just
All
think
right.
you're
Hey, use the word. Use that word from now on, George.
using the
Let's
wrong
use
word.
that word righteous then,
Yeah,
because
yeah.
right. Okay, let's
Okay.
go. Let's see. All right, let's go right. This is solely from your own moral framework. Okay, right. What is
What's
it?
he gonna do when you use his word now? And he doesn't have that to fall back on. He's already working on it. You can see it. He's already thinking, wait, what do I do now? Now, how do I get out of this?
That's true of animals that, if true of a child, would make it righteous to slit that child's throat and eat them?
Nothing. Nothing, as far as I'm concerned, would justify slitting a child's throat and eating it for whatever reason.
He just said justified.
Slitting a child. Nothing. Nothing, as far as I'm concerned, would justify slitting a
He just fucking said justify. You fucking idiot.
child.
Right. What is it?
So now he's revealed himself as just, oh my God. Oh my God, dude. I don't think George picked up on that the first time. I don't think I picked up on it.
That's true of animals that, if true of a child, would make it righteous to slit that child's throat and eat them?
Nothing. Nothing, as far as I'm concerned, would justify slitting a child's throat and eating it for whatever reason.
Okay. Debate over. But we're only halfway through. I'm sorry, guys.
Then that should be your position with animals, because if you
shouldn't.
don't even believe that there's certain traits, certain things that make it righteous to.
No. If you're
has to
unable
be
to if you're unable to intellectually decipher the distinction between,
Oh, I really wish George had picked up on that. It was quick, but if he had gotten that justify word, oh, that would have been such a great moment. Yeah, I'll grant that it may have just been a slip of the tongue or whatever, sure, but obviously, no, it wasn't. It was obviously exactly how he feels, obviously. But, it would have been great.
man, whatever we are, and the rest of nature.
You're misunderstanding what
No,
name the trait is. You can ask this with me and plants if you want. You could literally ask me, George. You can take two completely different beings that have completely different moral value in my framework. You can say to me, George, what is it that's true of plants that, if true of animals, would make it justified to drop them into a saucepan and boil them, which is what I do to vegetables? And I would be able to name the trait.
Yeah, but you can't.
No, I can.
Sentience, my friend.
How? Go on and name it.
Yeah, sure. If animals lacked a brain, a central nervous system, couldn't feel pain, weren't self-conscious, yeah, it'd be fine to boil them.
Right, but plants have been proven to communicate with one another. So.
Oh, here we go. Of course he does. Of course he believes that plants are sentient. Yeah. Really pervasive.
Right, you don't need a brain and nervous system.
Well, they only communicate with each other in the same way that, like, a computer communicates with another computer.
No. They share it. Plants of the same species have been known and it's been proven scientifically that they share resources. But plants of opposite genetic or
Again, it's a great argument to be vegan since you kill fewer plants.
disparities, right? Yeah, actually compete for resources. So no, you're wrong. And when, say, one tree is on fire, it's been known to, for example, send off frequencies of danger and alert into its brothers.
Right, and George's argument that also a computer can notify you, like, say you got a virus on your computer, just like the tree got, on fire. And then the computer got attacked by a virus, and then it sends out an alert to you with some program or some shit. And it sends an alert and says, your computer's been hacked, or this happened to your computer. It's the same thing, George. Not George, Brian. Brian. Yeah, okay. And it doesn't matter if it's the exact same mechanism, the exact same thing that's happening. He's just saying that things that are not alive can also communicate. things that are not sentient can also communicate. He's just making that point.
And sisters
Okay,
in this vicinity. What you're saying is categorically been demonstrably proven wrong by scientific endeavor. Yes, it has. I'll link you to the studies.
Yeah, they're
Mary, maybe if you hadn't, announced yourself as, leaving multiple times last night during my Cyberpunk stream, and then saying, "Oh, I can flaunt the rules. I can just leave, and maybe I wouldn't torture you, but sometimes, sometimes I have to restore order."
paranormal studies.
No.
The idea that plants actually have any semblance of sentience or
I never said that. I said they communicate with one another.
Yeah, and I agree. The same way as a computer communicates.
Yeah, but like
or AI communicates with you, but it's not when you type something into ChatGPT. ChatGPT is not feeling anything.
Sentience isn't an overwhelming factor for me. I've told you, if on a desert island and I was starving, I'd eat a dead man.
Like George is with his okay. Then relax and just continue the conversation without losing your shit, Brian.
Or child, it wouldn't make no difference to me, right? Yeah, starvation. Once starvation kicks in, I know what will happen. And it was the same with you. If me and you were on a desert island and someone had died, once starvation kicks in, and
you made this point. We don't need to hear about it 30,000 times. It's almost like, me with the headphones. We don't need to hear about it. Oh, shit, I said the word. Sorry, Lewis.
That leg is over a Spitfire and cooking. You're eating it. I don't care about your moral standpoint. You're going to eat it.
Yeah, that isn't the society we're living in now, though, right? So I can choose.
I don't live in a society. Society is a concept of the mind. No, I don't. I live in this body. You see this body you see here now on cam? I live within the confines of my own skin. Society is a concept, a figment.
Yeah, so do the pigs, the cows, the chickens, the fish that you subject to torture with your monetary legal tender, Brian. Yeah. They also live within the confines of their body, and they would rather not have knives put into them. I think.
The imagination. There's no such thing. There's a distinct difference between claims of value and claims of fact. And society is a claim of value that cannot derive from any fact. Right, yeah. So, like, I don't belong to any society. I'm an individual. I don't care. I don't work for any meat factories.
Mary, are you complaining that you get special treatment? Because that's you should be proud of that, Mary. You should be proud of that.
I'm not a voter. I didn't grant them permission to kill all these chickens and farms in the first place, right? Yeah, and
yeah, you did.
Yeah, like
you paid them with your legal tender. Your own argument claims that you did because you legally gave them this and then you used English. So apparently you did. You're speaking English.
I acknowledge.
Apparently you condone it. You should be, speaking French right now. But you're not. You're not speaking the language that doesn't condone animal exploitation, which I guess might be French. Who knows? Who knows what language? You tell me, Brian, what is the language that we should all use? We're getting to that point. Sorry, guys, to jump ahead.
All the scientific computer devices I've got here right now, right? Yeah, loads of animals were suffered and abused because of it. There's no way cobalt can be mined without breaking donkeys' backs and little children being sent down mines for it and stuff like that, right? Yeah, so all of these devices in my household, every time I type and let the scientific community know that I'm using them, it makes them go and create more, and we're going to abuse more animals and abuse more people in the process of doing it. It's a vicious circle, but sentience isn't the overriding factor here. Do you know what I'm saying? Yeah, like what can you tell me about animals that's so special about them that I shouldn't eat them when they're eating each?
They're sentient. He already did.
Each other.
Yeah, so there's human. I mean, you eat animals. Does that mean it's okay for someone to kill and eat you?
Obviously, right? Yeah, if they're able to do it, how can it be otherwise? You tell me what's so special about.
Not what he asked. How could it be otherwise?
Animals, right? Yeah.
Okay, so you would agree with the
Now-
UK law changing tomorrow that say it would be
no,
okay
I
to kill
wouldn't.
you to eat you?
Right. There's a difference between agreeing with something and accepting it as a factor of life. Right. What I'm asking you a question. You're a vegan. What's so special about animals, right? Yeah.
He said already they're sentient. Should he slow it down? They're conscious. They can feel things. That help?
That makes man shouldn't be eating them. What makes animals so special? That man shouldn't be eating them when they are eating each other.
Yeah. Well, that again, that's the say. I could just ask you what's so special about you that means it shouldn't be okay to murder you when you eat animals.
Right, and my answer to that is right. Yeah, me hunting a deer is no different to a lion hunting a deer.
Oh, so it's okay
That wasn't a good answer.
to kill you then?
If you think it's okay to kill me, that's fine. But it's okay for other people to think that wasn't okay, to come and hunt you down and hold you accountable for that. That's fine as well.
Oh, okay. That's
But let's
very
try and
helpful.
actually.
Very helpful.
I'm getting very, very confused by your moral system because one second you'll just say something like, "No, I don't agree with this," and then the next second you'll just be like, "Yeah, no, this happens, so it's okay." And I'm not. I
never said it's okay. You've missed.
So
When if you're going to
don't-
quote me precisely or not at all.
All right, I'm going to quote you very precisely. Let's go with this list of traits that you're naming. Okay, I'm going to write. I tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to write them down so we can
Name a list of traits with any animal that I would eat, for example, that tells me what I shouldn't eat it. What is it? What's
Okay.
so special about these animals?
Yeah, we're going to do that by applying them to a child and seeing if those traits...
just tell me what's special about the animal. Why use anything else? If the animal
We're going
was
to take
truly
the traits...
special, you wouldn't need to compare it to anything else. Just use
they are
the
special
animal.
in my... No. Hold on. I see it as morally wrong to kill and eat animals. Okay, you do not.
You don't.
But
You're right.
do.
You don't. No, you don't, because you're using a device right now that abused and killed animals. And
That's
you're telling
Nirvana fallacy.
It's not. You're using a device right now. Right? You agree not to have any more.
You're abusing a device right now. So you're even worse. Oh, man. I know his headphones aren't sentient, but I'm scared for them.
Children. So they don't become
sorry,
vegan.
Lewis. I
So
can't- I
they
couldn't
don't
do
become
it.
carnists or whatever, right? Yeah. But you're telling the scientific community now to go and create more of these devices, more of these things, right? Yeah. And animals and people will be abused in the process.
Yeah, but this isn't a scrutiny you put anyone else under for having any kind of view. You wouldn't say to someone who's against kids being abused, "Oh, you buy a smartphone."
I would if they give their child under the age of 16 or under the age of consent a smartphone. Absolutely.
No, but they're owning one themselves and they're against child abuse. Yet you're not applying. This is the scrutiny that vegans get. We get scrutinized for.
I would. You're saying I wouldn't, but I would.
Okay. So if someone just says, "I'm against Madeleine McCann being kidnapped and raped,"
Let's all take a breather. God, this is a lot. Let's just have a little chat, guys. How's everybody doing? I know it hurts. I know it hurts, but look, I'm giving you a little breather, a little intermission. Let's just talk about how each other's days was. What'd you get up to, Lewis? What'd you do today? And it's not an interrogation. You don't have to tell me, Lewis, but I'm asking. Mary, what'd you do? I know we're gonna take a break. I keep in mind I've gone through this twice, just like you, Lewis. I took the antidote and it didn't help. There's nothing that can help with this, except for edamame wasabi. That helps. Let's all breathe. Let's all take a breath. Work on our breathing. In through the nose, out through the mouth. Just like that. That's how we make it. Yes. Yeah, it's bad. It's really bad. It's really bad. But I feel like this is a window onto society because as bad as this guy is, he's honestly making very similar arguments to the ones that we hear all the time. Now he's thrown some of his own in there. He's definitely come up with some unique ones. And I'm amazed that we keep adding to the pile. We got marshmallows now that we didn't have 2 months ago or 3 months ago or whatever it was. We didn't have marshmallows though. Now we got marshmallows though. The creativity is what I'm saying is impressive. Now we've got English language though. We've got voting though. Um, what else do we have? What else has he thrown at us? Oh, can we say? Well, we could say anything is justified, but not righteous. But then he used justify, so that one's out. Ah, damn it. Well, and then he's using English, so that's kind of out. What was the other one? I forget now. Fuck. English voting. Yeah, maybe that's still in. I don't know. Voting's still a good argument. Marshmallows and voting. Those are the two new ones that I've heard in the past several months that have stuck that we can't defeat. Where's vegan marshmallow when we need him or her or whoever they are? Do marshmallows have gender? That's the question we should be trying to answer. The big problem is there's billions of people like him who arrogantly believe they have the correct position by slaughtering animals. Yeah. That is the problem. All right, well, nobody else wanted to talk about their day, so I got to go back. If y'all want me to delay, speak now or forever hold your peace. And don't blame me for what happens here in the next 20, 30 minutes. I can't be held responsible. All right. Going once, going twice. I know you did, Mary. You did it. All right. On we go.
You would say to them, well, you have a smartphone.
No, because we're not on about the same thing, are we? Clearly.
I guess
But
not.
yeah, like I understand, but in order to make a smartphone, you don't need to kidnap a child like McCann from a family, blah, blah, blah. The children that are being sent down in these mines to mine cobalt, right, yeah, are being sent down by their family members and brothers and sisters and whatnot. And the donkeys that are having their bracts broken and their hooves never clipped and whatnot and abused and whatnot to carry this minerals to get to your smartphones and stuff like that. It's not the same argument as committing a crime upon someone. The people that are doing it in these countries, right, yeah, are doing it legally within their own frameworks. However, that's not justified from the legal system me and you are engaging in right now.
Yeah, so if you see that as incomparable and you wouldn't ask someone who's against
Mary, when did I ever ignore you? What do you mean again? Ignoring you again? That's never happened.
the kidnap of Madeleine McCann, oh, but do you have a smartphone? Then you can't say to a vegan,
But
oh,
no
you use
children
your
were
laptop.
no children, as far as I'm concerned, right? Yeah, were kidnapped from their parents without their consent in order to make your smartphone. So it's a false comparison, right? Yeah, like
Well,
if you send if you send your children down in mines, and or the government sending your children down in mines, right? Yeah, to mine cobalt, and you're like, I don't like that on your smartphone. I'd be like, well, why have you got a smartphone then? When you're like, you're telling them to go and do more of it, right? Yeah, so you're contradicting yourself in that regards. And I'm saying, you as a vegan,
And if you like really believed that that was happening, then maybe you would be. Maybe you would be not justified in having it.
on your smartphone.
Is that hard for you to like live ethically? I mean, you probably have one, right?
Whatever device you're on now, right? Yeah, are contradicting yourself. You're more than willing to use device. Scientific community as a whole, right? Yeah, abuses over
You
200
are
million
using
animals.
these devices, so you can't scrutinize me.
But I eat animals. I'm not claiming
No, but you're
to be
against
morally
the abuse
superior.
of children.
But
You're
I'm
against the
I'm
abuse of
not
children.
claiming. Yeah, I know. I agree. I'm against the abuse of children, right? Yeah, and I, as a parent, would never send a child down to a cobalt mine.
Oh, you can't be held responsible. But I thought you could. Wait, what? Wait. That's the sound of the numbers. I don't know why they made that sound, but they did. The numbers. As I try to work out the equation that he's using, I got nowhere.
A cobalt mine either. I am disgusted with these products myself. Absolutely, I hate
All right.
myself for it.
Oh, you hate yourself for it. Okay. Well, I hate you too. Does that help, Brian? We agree.
Okay, right.
I hate myself for using these products. Absolutely.
Okay, cool. Right, let's get
Good.
back to let's try and finalize this in a nice linear fashion and without gish galloping all over the place, because we seem to have meandered all over the place with this. So
Yeah.
I want you to name the list of traits true of animals that, if true of a child, would justify killing that child. And the reason there has to be a trait is because the trait means that if we apply that to a being, that makes it okay to kill them in your worldview. In this case, a chicken, a cow, a pig. You think there's a certain number of things about chickens, cows, and pigs that makes it okay to kill them, correct?
It's a legality, my friend.
Okay, is that that's another trait you want
He's very frustrated.
to mention? If the legality,
well, you're speaking in English legal presumptive fiction. You're communicating in MENA. You're asking me the question in a legal presumptive fiction, a language that is a legislative language, right? Yeah, in order to conduct law and between one man and another, so it doesn't lead to violence, right? So you're speaking to
Filibuster.
me in a legal language called English presumptive fiction. Right, so yeah, the animals, right, yeah, are legally protected up to a point.
Stop
and then
talking.
they're not. So
Brian,
that's another trait.
Shut up.
But
Okay,
you
cool.
obviously have to adhere to this
Shut
because you asked.
your
You're
face.
using the English language, which abuses and punishes these animals.
Shut that thing. Shut.
Or whatever, which makes these animals suffer, right? Yeah, legally under the English tongue. So just by you, it's a choice to use the English language to communicate in. No one's forcing you to do it. There's no gun to your head right now, and you're using a language that permits the suffering or harm to these animals to be used for however mankind wishes to.
So, okay, I'm gonna pose this one to you, Brian. Name the language that does not permit, and then we'll all learn it. Okay? And then we'll get right on learning that. It's definitely not Mandarin. So I'll switch to learning a different one. What's the language, Brian? And why aren't you speaking that language? And what does it sound like? Does it sound like you, like in reverse? I wish we could do that. How would we play him in reverse? Maybe there's something profound if you did reverse what he's saying.
Use them as is right now. So you're
okay. So that's the second trait. Do you have any more traits true of animals that, if true of a human, would make it justified to kill the child?
Why don't you reverse it? No, I'm not. Okay, I've given you two, and I want to reverse the equation. What's true?
Well, hold on. We haven't finalized it yet. We have, because you can't just ask me a question back when we haven't finalized the trait stack yet, and just.
But what more do you need?
Okay, that's fine. All right, that's fine.
Wow, man! I've just watched you with an interview or a debate with that other vegan woman, a natalist woman, and you were really respectful, man. And let her say whenever she interrupted you, be like, "Oh, sorry."
He's being super respectful.
Do you know what I mean? Yeah, but with me, you're quite happy to shout.
I'm not, but he is.
Down, I think. But I'm saying.
And actually, I'm being more respectful than I normally am with people like you.
Stuff you don't like hearing. You know what I mean? Yeah, and it's
No, I'm
it's
just
forcing
trying.
forcing you to shout over me like a petulant child. I've just
No,
said you,
you're
I've
shouting
just
as
said
well.
I mean, I haven't brought up the little beard tie. I didn't do that.
I've just educated you that the English language that you're speaking to me in is legal presumptive
sorry.
fiction that gives
Okay.
these animals their rights, or
When I was in the debate,
doesn't grant them their rights.
when
The
I was
English-
in the debate with Emily, when I asked the question, did she just start gish galloping and wriggling all over the place
Yeah,
and red herring and just fly and just like?
I
So
thought
she
so.
acted like you?
All right, fair enough.
And if that's what you think I'm doing, that's fine. I thought I just again like every time I try and tell you this, you keep interrupting and saying I'm gish galloping. You have asked me a question in an English language, right? Yeah, like a code of conduct again, a form of communication that grants these animals that you supposedly care about their rights or not. Right, yeah. So every time you're using this language, like using science, is no differently to me buying a chicken. Me purchasing a chicken is supply and demand, right? Right, according to you vegans. I mean, you using the English language is supply and demand because
I thought the language was science. I thought I had misunderstood you because you said the language of science, and now it's English again. Okay, whatever.
English language, right, yeah, is formulating the law that allows these chickens and these cows to be butchered in slaughterhouses in the first place. So every time you use the English tongue and English language, you're enabling slaughterhouses and the like, right, yeah, to operate in a realm of legal certainty.
Okay, and if you use your English language to advocate for the closure of slaughterhouses, then what is that doing? Can you explain that one to me, or what? Can you?
Right. Anyway, do you have those?
I like that.
In English language, you're enabling slaughterhouses and the like, right, yeah, to operate in a realm of legal certainty.
Right. Anyway, do you have those are the two traits that you're naming? Cannot create a code of conduct and that it's legal to do so.
Yeah.
Okay.
Absolutely.
So if there
What? We reached a milestone. Only 51 minutes in. Wasn't this about the second or third question that George asked? Took us 51 minutes to get there.
was a child who could not create a code of conduct and it was legal to murder this child, you'd be okay with killing this child and eating them for a burger?
It depends. If there was no laws of man, no code of conduct on earth, it depends. Like this wouldn't even be a conversation. There'd be no intelligence about it. So yeah, I'd probably eat whatever was in front of me, however, whenever I felt like it. There'd be no thought or consciousness to it. It would just be, oh, I've got this feeling. That's it. It wouldn't. There'd be no thought behind it. Do you understand? So yes.
There's no thought behind anything you're doing.
But in your own moral system now, let's say, let's say, for example, you were to go to a lawless.
I just try to imagine what it's like to be him. I'm trying to be super empathetic and to just understand what it must be like to have those kinds of, we'll call them thoughts, for lack of a better word, racing around. It sounds like torture.
Island, just a place like maybe like a jungle society that didn't have like a country or a law. They didn't have like a code of conduct, and it was technically legal to kill these children. And in your situation now, so let's just say you're flying over there with a helicopter. Let's just say you're on holiday, just flying over the Amazon or something. Would you deem it morally
What'd you say, Lewis?
acceptable by your own standard now? You've got other options to eat. This is your own situation now, to just shoot this child below you in the jungle and just eat them.
Right. I think why do you keep rephrasing the same question?
I mean, right, Mary? I mean, he's even got the cover. He's got the screen for that. He's got like this whole setup. I mean, he set up like a studio thing for this. Do you think someone encouraged him? Like someone was like, "Yeah, you should do that." I bet they did. I bet you he had someone in his life who he talked at who was like, how do I get this guy out of my hair? They were like, "Oh, you know what you should do? You should really start a podcast. You know, those brilliant ideas that you have. You got to get those down on on YouTube and share them with the world. You definitely. I'll help you. I'll get you a microphone. Let's do that." And someone out there is very happy right now. Can you imagine if this was someone in your life and they did sort of latch onto you like a barnacle and try to talk to you about subjects? And then can you imagine the feeling, the orgasmic feeling of ridding yourself of that? It would be, what's that? That whole meme was like, sex is great, but have you ever? I mean, sex is great, but have you ever rid yourself of a Brian-like organism? Because I mean, I think we should chase that dragon. We should be chasing that feeling. That's got to feel good. Someone out there, I picture them on a yacht now because their life is just taken off. They're like sipping margaritas right now, and we've fallen in the trap. Thanks to George. You guys locked in a battle for number one, eh? It's just been you. It's just been you two, Lewis and Mary. Who else is out there? Is anybody left? A couple of lurkers. But I only see Lewis and Mary chatting. Apparently, you guys, the four of you, because I see six. I see the number six. Four of you, and it just went up 7. Apparently, a lot of you are content to not get that crown. Veg in the Woods just showed up, but busy. I understand. If I turned my YouTube on and this is what I saw, I would also be busy. I understand. Oh, Mary, that's got to be bad. That has to be painful. I don't know why. Did I sound Southern there? Really Southern. I sounded like a Southern waitress in a diner right there. That has to be painful. I don't know where that came from, but it came out of me.
If there's no thought process behind it, and I don't care, and there's no legal framework in place, and there's no protections between anyone else, and there is no technical legalities, there's no code of conduct, but technically it's legal, right? You're contradicting yourself in your own questioning, right? Yeah.
No. I'm just asking for your. I'm just asking if you would think that's okay. Those are the traits you named. So I've just given you a scenario. I'm asking you if it's okay.
Whether I think it's okay, right? What you're trying to say is like, if I lifted myself out of this moral framework, because I'm not in this moral framework, and put myself in a condition where the English language was never known to me, and this moral conditioning was never known to me, would I eat whatever I fucking felt like it whenever I felt like it? Yeah, absolutely. So what? Who cares? Like, yeah.
So he just sort of trying to make sense of what he says is fool's errand, but he just sort of admitted that he's been conditioned to eat animals and then just kind of waved it off like, who cares? Did he? I don't know. I can't make sense of this guy.
There'd be no thought behind it. So
you would consider it. I'm asking if you consider it justified now from your own position now.
Right now, in the English tongue, with intelligence, right? Yeah, no, because every man, woman, and child.
Oh, but Wait, so now in the English tongue, things are better? Now I'm confused. I wasn't confused before. I was right with them up to this point. But now with our enlightened English tongue, that is the source of all things good now, and not enabling slaughterhouse. What? Okay, sorry, I'm back to confused.
Has a code of conduct applied to it. When
That was a slight moment of clarity I thought I had. It was an illusion. I was in mirage. I didn't have it.
we are engaging in the intellectual realm of the English language, it's a legal language, right? Yeah, man, woman, and child have legal rights and freedoms, right? Yeah, that are bestowed upon them when they are born, right?
Yeah, and in this society that I've listed, they don't.
And animals do to a certain point in the English language, in the English tongue, right? Yeah, and if you,
Okay. I
and
just
if
gave you
you, and if you cared more about these animals, right? Yeah, if you cared more about these animals than mankind, for example, you'd stop using the English tongue that allows these animals to be put in the slaughterhouses in the first
Yeah,
place.
George. Can't help but notice, George, that when we did our interview, it was in English. Wow. And that was post debate. So obviously you don't care about animals. I should have been asking you questions and then getting back whatever. Not English. Checkmate.
That's
There's
an
no
insane reach, but okay.
How is it an
I'll
insane
speak to you in
reach?
Klingon. Let's do the rest of this fucking debate in Klingon.
No, you have to speak to me in a language that doesn't eat meat. Klingons eat meat.
Oh, okay, please tell us the language.
Konnichiwa.
Japanese eat meat.
You got me. Konnichiwa.
In a language that doesn't eat meat. Klingons eat
Did you hear that laugh in the back? George's wife, probably, I guess. I don't know.
meat.
Konnichiwa.
Japanese eat meat.
You got me. Very well done.
You know what I mean? Yeah. If you can't speak to me in a legal language, right? Yeah, that doesn't eat meat products on this earth or abuses animals in any which way, shape, or form, then you are fulfilling yourself and basking in, submerged in, dwelling in, swimming in, right? Yeah, the very essence that abuses these animals in the first place. You're no one to be pointing fingers and judge. The only veganism is a diet, right? Yeah, that derives from Satanism.
But then you can't. Hold on. Then you can't have a position on anything.
Vegan. Wait. I'm sorry to cut you off, George, but veganism is a diet that originates in Satanism. But I thought, going back, I thought that everything mankind does is okay, according to God. So, damn, I'm confused again.
Fingers and judge the very essence that abuses these animals in the first place. You're no one to be pointing fingers and judge. The only veganism is a diet, right? Yeah, that derives from Satanism.
But then you can't. Hold on. Then you can't have a position on anything because you're using the English language, so you can't disagree with child porn.
No, it's only porn to the paedophile.
There he goes again. Just say a different word so that he doesn't get hung up on the words. This guy has a real strategy, doesn't he? To nitpick on words so hard that he doesn't have to address what the person has said.
Indecent criminal.
I don't care about this. I don't care about the semantics of it.
Evidently.
I'm fed up of you applying this logic only to me as a vegan, and then you're just letting paedophiles off the hook and all this stuff. Because
how did you get to that insane logical leap?
There went the headphones. They came off. Whoa.
How did you get to that insane illogical?
Or maybe should I say, or you're not? Wait, no. Let me rephrase
I apply this to everybody on Earth. What are you on about? What did you?
Are you sure? Because I don't think everybody on Earth speaks English. Oh, okay. Let's take a temp check. We lost Lewis. We lost him. I knew we'd lose a few good men. I knew it. I knew. Few good women as well. I'm sure we lost a few good women. Alicia was here. Don't think she's still here. Yeah. We'll all remember where we were in the great battle with Brian. A lot of fallen troops that day. Oh, this is in bad taste. I was going to bring up some like war memorial music to play, but that's in very poor taste, isn't it? Even I have my limits. We'll proceed. Forget I did that. Forget I said that I was going to do that and didn't do that.
You're
Under the
saying
English
that I
tongue,
know.
under the
You're
English
saying that I
tongue,
have
right,
no
yeah?
right to judge anyone else because I
Shush.
use the English language. Then who does?
Don't you shush
Right.
him.
Can you use a language?
shush him.
Use the English.
Under the
You're
English
saying that I
tongue,
have
right,
no
yeah?
right to judge anyone else because I
Shush.
use the English language. Then who does?
Maybe he said
I have
George.
no right to judge anyone else because I
Shush.
use the English language. Then who does?
He shushed him.
Right. Can you use a language now that isn't partaking in the abusement or in abusing animals
Just
in
waiting
any
for
which
you
way,
to
shape, or
tell
form?
us what one
Are you
is.
able to do that?
I can't think of one. No, there's every.
So you are then, by your own admission, partaking in the abusing of animals by using the English language.
That is an insane reach. That's like
How?
saying, are you partaking in the molestation of children by speaking English?
Why?
Is it
a crime? Is it a crime to molest children in the English language?
Can you name a society that doesn't molest children?
Is it a crime? Yes. Is it a crime in the English? Let me ask you
the English don't molest children.
Right? Can I not legally? No. Is it a crime to molest a child under the age of consent in the English tongue, in the English law? Yes or no?
It's
yes,
not
of course it is.
Right, stop there then. So how did you get...
It's not the English that makes it illegal, though. Like, it wouldn't matter if the person who did it spoke another language, would it, Brian? You know, we don't say that the law only applies to someone if they speak English. Lewis went down. We're all going down, guys. We still got 20 minutes about. Let's stiffen our spines. We got to get through this. We got to do it. I will not be defeated by Brian. I will not be demolished. I will not be another vegan to fall at the hands of Brian.
To that illogical leap.
How are you getting to it, dude?
Right, let me explain it to you then. You keep speaking over me and shouting over me like a petulant child, like you didn't do with that other pregnant lady, right? Listen, the English language, right, yeah, is legal presumption.
Are you nice to that pregnant lady, George? How dare you be nice to that pregnant lady?
Fiction, right? Yeah, it's a fiction to represent the facts and or concepts of mankind and the law, what you can and cannot do. If you break the law, or these other people will come and hunt you down and incarcerate you and take your freedoms and liberties away from you, whether you like it or whether I like it or not. There are people that dedicate their lives, willing to sacrifice their lives on this earth to uphold the law, right? And in law, let me finish, in law, it's not legal in the English tongue to
sit up straight,
molest children, but it is legal to eat animals. So if you use the English language where it is legal to eat animals in the English tongue, you are partaking in those animals being abused and eaten. Whereas children being abused is a crime in the English language.
Oh, okay. So if the UK government legalized
Just want to point out, Mary, as soon as you stiffened up that spine, you jumped all the way from number 3 to number 1. Let that be a lesson to everybody. Bit of a stiff spine will get you to the top.
Bullshit, illogical fucking leap, didn't you?
Oh, really?
Because you couldn't shut your fucking mouth.
Oh,
for more than
really?
10
So
seconds.
if the
Oh,
UK
we got
government,
a little heated
really?
there. didn't we?
Oh, illegal to eat
Let me
animals
back
in
up.
the English tongue, you are partaking in those animals
He really thinks he's got something here.
being abused and eaten. Whereas children being abused is a crime in the English
Oh,
language.
okay. So if the UK government
you just
legalized
made a
paedophilia
bullshit,
tomorrow,
illogical
if the-
fucking leap,
if-
didn't you?
oh, really?
Because you couldn't shut your fucking mouth.
Oh,
for more than
really?
10
So
seconds.
if the UK government legalized paedophilia tomorrow, you would be participating in child abuse by speaking
Yep,
English.
that's what he'd be doing.
Absolutely.
Okay, it's a consistent position, I guess. Right, now let's get back to the name the trait. So you're flying over the Amazon.
Especially if they use the English law to do it, yes. The English law governs the UK Parliament, British law, right, yeah? So, yes, any law created in the English tongue that permitted people to rape children, right, yeah, then obviously me using English is partaking in that fulfillment, absolutely, and I'd be disgusted.
Okay.
What's up, Axel? Welcome to pain. Steal that spine of yours, Axel. I know it may appear that we're reaching the end, but trust me, in this debate, 17 minutes is going to feel like a lifetime. I hope you're prepared. I hope you're ready. I hope you've been through the boot camp. That 8-hour stream of yours. I know you've been training for this. Everything you've done up to this point, Axel, was to prepare you for this moment.
Yeah, I appreciate your consistency there. Right. So let's get back. You're flying over the Amazon and there's a child below you. They live in a lawless society. It's fully legal to shoot this child.
And it's not lawless, is it? You just contradicted yourself.
No, it's legal in the sense that there's no law against it. It's not against the law to shoot and kill this child. No.
You're bad. We're bad, Axel. I almost called you Alex. Axel, we're not doing well. We started strong. We're weakening. The spine stiffening moment has perked us a little bit, but we're flagging. We've already lost some people today. I don't know if we'll ever get them back. Bad stream today, Axel. Well, it's not getting any better.
Country will prosecute you for it.
Everything,
is it okay
everything
now
on
in
earth.
your worldview? Hold on. Can you just answer? Is it okay in your worldview to shoot the child? Yes or no? Please just say yes or no.
No, it's not okay now in my worldview. Now, no.
Just realize these this spells out bad. B-A-D. That's your first indication. If your initials spell bad, you're bad.
Okay, so then that's going to be a formal contradiction, right? So
no, it's not.
And it could be bad in a good way, but in your case, it's proven to not be in a good way. Just bad, just a bad way.
It's not a formal contradiction.
So what the
name the animal, right? Name the animal. Deer.
Leave the headphones alone. Bad. Chill out on the headphones.
The deer.
Right. So
no, it's not. It's not a formal contradiction.
So what the
name the animal, right? Name the animal. Deer. You named the deer, and then you went from child of man, whatever we are, right? Yeah. We are not deer. Whatever we are, mankind is not a deer. There's no contradiction.
It is and is not okay to shoot a being for a burger who cannot create a code of conduct and that it's legal to do so. That's your current position.
If the code of conduct is made for them.
Is that another trait that you? Okay, let's add that to the trait set. That has no code of conduct created for them.
If Deers had a code of conduct that they could share with us, right? Yeah, then
You're giving him the vapors,
Created
George.
for
You're
them.
giving him the vapors.
Let's add that to the trait set. That has no code of conduct created for them.
If Deers had a code of conduct that they could share with us, right? Yeah, then they wouldn't
George, stop it.
need you sticking up for them, would they? They'd already have their own laws. Right, yeah, they don't need some pathetic dude on a device that abused loads of animals and children.
Yeah, well, sure. Yeah, that's why I'm an animal rights act.
Love you too, Axel. Thanks for all the good work. Yes, I did say hello. Sorry it buffered for you. I don't know if it buffered for me or for you or for everybody or what, but yeah. Yeah, I was warning you about this stream that we've got here. But yeah, it's not good. It's not good, and we've got a ways to go.
To this, because I'm trying to attain them legal rights. Right, okay. We're just going to slightly amend then the trait stack. So based on what you know. Okay. So you're flying over the Amazon and this kid below you has no
But there's
code
no
of
contradiction.
conduct. Well, we're going to find out if there is.
I already know there isn't.
They have no code of conduct created for them, and it is not against the law for you to shoot them in the head with a sniper rifle. Now, is it okay for you? Is it okay under your worldview now to do that?
As far as I'm concerned, if under my worldview right now, if it's not prohibited by law, then it's perfectly legal and lawful. Absolutely.
That's not what he asked. That was a slimy little way of getting out of what he asked. He didn't ask if it was lawful. He said if it was okay in your worldview.
Yeah, I know it'd be legal and lawful. I'm asking you if it'd be okay. There's laws that we don't agree with, and there's like legality doesn't obviously.
You've answered your own question. You've said it's okay, but
no, he hasn't.
Your question incorporates its own answer.
Because I don't give a shit about the law. That's not my trait. It is legal to massacre animals. I don't agree with it.
Yeah, but you're using the English language right now. So you've contradicted yourself. You're using a legal language called English legal presumptive fiction.
No, I'm using it as a form.
Checkmate, George. Demolished.
Form of communication.
Yes, and it comes with rules and conditions.
Okay, and I don't agree with many things that happen in Arab societies, but if I had to learn Arabic to speak with an Arab about animal exploitation, I would do that.
That's not my issue, is it? It's none of my.
You're an English speaker,
right?
So I'm speaking to you in a language that you understand.
And
so
under
now
under the English tongue and law, right? Yeah, but the people who give
he equates the English language to the law in such a strange way. Under the English tongue and law, like, is he trying to say like England, like under English law as pertains to England, or is he extrapolating English to mean everybody that speaks English on the planet, including the ones who don't live in England? I realize, again, we're trying to make sense of an incoherent point of view. But it's important that we try to understand this new creature that we've discovered named Brian, aka Bad.
And permits to the slaughterhouses and farms, right? Yeah, it's got nothing to do with me. My hands are clean. But if they want to kill an animal, right? Yeah, and it's for sale somewhere, and it's just going to go to rot and waste if it's not eaten, then I'll eat it. Why should that animal die in vain? Do you know what I mean? Yeah. If for as long as voters are killing these animals, I will eat them. And when all that ceases, I don't mind hunting my own animal to kill it and eat it if needs be.
Right, but that's inconsistent again with what you said about humans, which was that you would wait for them to die natural deaths and then consume their rotting flesh. So maybe you should now name the trait. Again, we could go back to the name of the trait. It would be nice if you don't filibuster the entire time, as we've done now for over an hour.
I think we're going away now from the actual seeing if you have a consistent position. But if that's another trait you're naming, but like it's the society.
Again, I didn't come here to represent any sort of consistent positions or anything like that. I came here.
And there you have it. The Carnist position is that it doesn't need to be consistent. That's it in a nutshell. It doesn't need to be consistent, doesn't matter. It doesn't need to be thought out. It doesn't need to have any justification or righteousness. Sorry, bad righteousness or justification, which was the word you used. Remember?
To debate a vegan to see if they can challenge any of my points.
Well, actually, that is exactly what you did. You did agree to debate a vegan and have your points challenged. How is this presented to you?
Does your wife vote? Do your parents vote? Does anyone you know
Well,
vote?
I've come here to see if you have a consistent position on animal rights, and as far as I'm concerned, you don't.
Of course I don't. Animals have the rights that mankind give to them and grant to them, because if they were able to assert them themselves, this wouldn't be a conversation, would it?
Yeah,
So
no.
the only rights animals have are the ones mankind grants to them, and I haven't given any animal.
I'm really convinced the worms are eating people's brains. This is evidence for it. If we needed any evidence that what happened to RFK is happening to all meat eaters, here it is. This guy's brain is half missing.
Any rights whatsoever.
Yeah, and we're trying to see if that's societally a flawed position or not. My current take is that we live in a fucked up system that inconsistently grants rights to humans.
Hang in there, Axel. You're a good dude. Just remember that. You're fighting the good fight. So keep your head up high. Don't let shitty situations get you down. And don't let the bastards get you down either, as my old news director would say. Yeah. The sun will rise tomorrow. I don't know. I'm sorry to give you a bunch of Hallmark cards, but sounds like you needed one. Yeah, brainworms are running rampant. Just remember, it's not always them, Axel. Sometimes it's the worms.
But not to animals. So my job as an animal rights activist is to try and change that. I'm trying here to persuade you that you either have an inconsistent position or, okay,
no,
so
there's
you believe you have a consistent position in between killing children and animals?
Yes, because there's a distinct difference between rights and freedoms. You have the freedom to murder and kill whoever you want right now. Okay. Your own wife, for example, right? Yeah, that doesn't mean you have the right to, but you are capable of. Everyone's capable of doing anything. You have the freedom to do it.
He just keeps on with the haymakers, just bashing me in my face. Stiff spine, Jeremy. Stiff spine. Fuck you, Brian. I'm not gonna lose to you.
We're trying to see if it's morally acceptable.
Let's just say you came home and you found your wife molesting your 2-year-old son. Do you have a right to kill her? Do you have the freedom to kill her in protecting?
Oh, you didn't give me with that one. I dodged that shit.
That child.
Okay, yes, I'm not going to entertain gish gallops anymore.
All right,
we're gonna.
But what I'm saying is, in the law of mankind, there are situations where it's perfectly conceivable.
When the fucking headphones are off, get defensive. That's when he strikes.
Where mankind can kill another man in defense.
We got through it.
Yeah, again, I'm not here to talk about self-defense in UK law. That's not my interest here in discussing this today.
Right then, okay.
So let's.
What rights do animals have? Do you think animals have rights? Do you think animals have rights?
We're trying to grant animals rights. Yes.
Why? I don't claim rights.
Because I'll tell you why. I'll tell you why. Because there's no morally relevant trait difference between humans and animals that justifies granting rights one and not the other. Now we're going to see if you hold that position. Okay, there is. Okay, tell me what those morally relevant trait differences are, and I'll write them down.
Name one other animal that's granted rights upon another animal.
Is that a trait? Hasn't.
Yes,
I almost didn't put my guard up.
Cannot grant.
Is it a trait?
Okay, cool. All right. Cannot grant rights. That's the third one I'm adding to the trait stack. Do you have any more?
Can it grant rights? Yes. Can it grant rights to other animals? Can whatever animal you want rights for grant rights to other animals itself?
Okay. All right. So let's go with this. Okay. So we see a child. You see a child in the Amazon. They have no code of conduct created for them. It will not be against the law for you to shoot them and eat them. And this child cannot grant rights to other humans or animals. It's okay to shoot them by your logic.
It's perfect. Everyone's perfectly free to shoot them. Yes, by my logic.
You would be okay with the child being, you would see it morally acceptable to shoot and eat the child?
Not in my position, no.
Well, that's what I'm asking. Then that's not an answer to the question. I'm asking you.
It is.
No.
There's a difference
Then
between.
you need to,
No. There's a difference between people having the freedom to do it, right, yeah, and me being okay with it. Right, yeah? Me being okay with it is secondary to people having the freedom to do it. Me being okay with it is irrelevant. It's none of my business.
Would you find it morally acceptable for someone to shoot the child and eat them? You can answer this consistently. Okay. Never. Okay, then that's an inconsistent position.
It's not, because the child I'm talking about, right, yeah, isn't the animal that you're talking about.
Yeah.
Right.
And
they are two distinct, separate living beings.
Yeah, and you've named 3 things about animals that you say makes it okay to kill these animals, that if applied to a human would be okay to kill that human.
And you haven't
those 3 things were has no code of conduct created for them. It's not against the law to kill them, and cannot grant rights to other animals. Now, if there is a child in the jungle who has no code of conduct created for them,
that was close. He put him back on for a second. I thought I was in the clear. He put him right back on.
It's not against the law to kill them, and this child cannot grant rights to other humans or animals. Would it be morally acceptable in your worldview to kill that child for a burger?
My worldview now?
Yes.
Obviously not. Because you're attempting, right, yeah, to put my consciousness now with the English language and intelligence into a situation that doesn't correlate to my standing now. So for me to be in that situation, right, yeah, I'd have to forget everything I know now, everything I've ever learned, and be in that situation where that circumstance applies to me in some way, shape, or mind, where I don't have the foresight and knowledge of the English language, customs, and traditions that I've grew up in right now, that have been afforded to me. So, and the child you're talking about isn't a deer, right? It's not a deer.
We're trying to see,
right?
A deer. That was weird. There should be just 1 syllable in deer, I'm pretty sure. Are there 2 in England? There might be 2 in England. Get your guard up, Mary. Okay, we're going to continue.
So what
the question I asked you is...
what you're asking me is something that's already going on. There are tribes in the jungle right now that kill children and eat them within their own legal framework. Am I okay with that? No, it's none of my business, right? Yeah, what they do is what they do. However, I wouldn't see that as righteous, right?
But we're trying to find out why not, because you named these traits about animals.
Because there are because let me answer you then. Because there are other things to eat. That's what.
Oh, okay. So that's already true of animals. So that's fine. There's other things to eat. You can be vegan.
Yeah, but you haven't answered. You haven't answered the discrepancy. You haven't shifted anything. The deer's still a deer, and the child is still the child.
But we're now applying those deer-like traits to the child to see if it holds up. Because that's the idea of name the trait, to see if you have a consistent position.
Yeah, but it doesn't. The conclusion doesn't amount to anything.
It amounts to the idea that maybe the traits that you're applying to deer to make it okay to kill them aren't actually good arguments to kill the deer.
Of course they are.
Oh, so then if we apply those traits to a child, it'd be okay to kill them then?
What do you mean, okay?
By your logic. You said these traits, you think these traits
He's really tried. Oh, God. He's really tried. George deserves a heavyweight belt for this performance. I couldn't have done it. I could not have done it.
Actually, valuable traits. You think these traits hold moral weight about deer? But they have no code of conduct created them. That it's legal to kill them.
But you
think they can't grant rights to others.
But a deer isn't a child. You're comparing.
I know. So now we're naming the traits. So now we're taking those traits that you've said is true about deers that makes it okay to kill them. We're applying them to a child to actually see if your moral position holds up.
Yeah, but in order for you to do so, right, yeah, you have to put this child in these certain conditions that don't exist, that are non-relevant to the conclusion.
Well,
even if I was to accept your argument, right, yeah, the conclusion is deers are not children, and the circumstances that you've alluded to do not exist. And if they do, it's none of my business or standing to have an impact on it. It's going to happen whether
We're getting there. We're 5 more minutes. We can do it. We can do it. We can do it. We can do it. Do it.
About it or not, and it does happen whether I care about it or not. So your point is irrelevant.
No, it's
absolutely
not
irrelevant. Of course it is.
Okay.
The deer is still a deer, and the child is still a child, and the conditions that you've put into this logical framework do not exist.
Actually, technically, with the 3 traits you've named, they are actually quite realistic and could exist. But let's say that let's say you named could fly or something like that. It doesn't matter.
But a deer will never be a child. Listen, a deer.
The
will
idea
never
of a hypothetical is to test consistency.
A deer will never be a child, except for when the deer is a child. Brian, idiot.
What the idea of a hypothetical is? I'm a metaphysician.
Well, answer it then.
You don't seem to be at grips, got the grasp of logic. You're breaking down fundamentally in errors that I'm trying to point out to you. A deer is not a child. I understand your comparison.
He's winning, guys. He's winning. I don't know how much longer I can survive this onslaught.
I understand your logical trap, but the conclusion doesn't amount to anything because your ifs are conditional precedents where you're having to place this hypothetical child in order to trap me in this logical conundrum right here, will not amount to anything because they do not exist in reality. The deer and the child, right, yeah, have their rights given to them already in the English tongue as is. You may want to change and alter
this child wouldn't.
This child wouldn't.
Another haymaker I wasn't ready for. Oh, look at him go. He's so mad. Look at this face. Veg in the woods, you came back. Vulnerable time. I don't want you to see me like this, Veg in the woods. Look away. Just look away. I know what to do. I know what to do. I know what to do. Wait, I can't do it. If I took myself off the screen, you wouldn't hear me. I can't do it. Let's reposition. Here we can do this. Hang on. Whoa. Oh, shit. Hang on. I'm in a totally new thing that I didn't mean to press. We'll focus on it another day. Don't look at me.
Your scenario, in your hypothetical,
your scenario,
and I'm telling you, your hypothetical conclusion, stop interrupting me, doesn't exist in the English language. Because
Sorry I interrupted you, Brian.
I don't give a shit if it doesn't exist.
In the English language, that child is protected by laws and legalities, right? Yeah.
So there is no laws in the jungle.
Right. So in the jungle, there's no English language. So
no,
I can't give you the answer. The answer is beyond the English language to give you. You have to give me a hypothetical that can be answered in correlation with the English language.
Sally, don't look at me. Look away.
In order for me to remain logically consistent, right? Yeah, and adhere to it. Otherwise, I can't answer an illogical equation without
seeing. How you doing, Sally? We're getting obliterated here, demolished by Brian. And I just didn't want you to have to see that. I don't want you to have to see me in my current state.
Mean contradictory.
Yeah,
Like
look,
you've given me a
if you're-
hypothetical that will not exist in reality. Therefore, I'm going to contradict myself when answering it because you don't accept that the English tongue already caters for the conundrum you're mentioning. That's why you have to make the hypothetical where the English tongue is being applied to this hypothetical where it's not really being applied. You're asking me to sit on a throne and apply my consciousness to a scenario that's intellectually above it. Well, of course, that's fine. But however, the throne I'm sat on already gives the animals its rights. That you're telling me I'm on a throne that can judge this other scenario in the same way. But the throne that I'm sat on is already judging the animals that you want to have rights and has given them. To a certain degree, they have rights. Like the slaughterhouses and the farms have to treat the animals to a certain degree or be held accountable by law. Do you know what I'm saying? Yeah, you might not agree with that.
We're going on another tangent here, but look, if
it's only a tangent because you can't answer the argument, you can't defeat the argument.
You can't answer. You can't name the trait.
I can.
Let's see you name it then. After an hour and 15 minutes, he's going to name it, everyone.
I've named 3, and the point is,
and I asked it, and so your logical in a form. So you acknowledge it's a formal contradiction, then.
How much more? 2 minutes. Stiff spine. Let's go. We can do it.
You acknowledge you've committed a formal contradiction then, because you named 3 traits, and then you said it wouldn't be okay to shoot the child.
It's not a contradiction because the deer is not a child.
Oh my God! Then you haven't understood the question. Look,
I have.
I don't think we're going to get anywhere with this, man. But look, I appreciate you reaching out for the debate, and it was fun. I think it will be an entertaining listen for our audiences. And honestly, man, I wish you a good rest of the day. And it was a fun chat anyway, man. So
it was fun, and I'd like to say, with all the years, 20 years I've been debating online, this is yet another debate with a vegan that I've demolished effortlessly. Can't answer a simple.
Demolished.
All right, mate.
Another debate with a vegan that I've demolished effortlessly. Can't answer a simple.
There's a new word, demolished. You got it wrong. You even got the title wrong, George. You got so crushed. You put demolished, and he said demolished, but whatever.
All right, mate. Well, we'll let my audience decide that.
Well, no,
he did.
I'm deciding for you and myself.
No.
If you had anything to teach me, and I would have learnt it. I'm walking away from this engagement, and I don't feel satisfied. I feel like I just.
Oh shit! We didn't satisfy him. Well, I mean, what does he expect when he demolishes us that way? How are we going to satisfy you, Brian?
Effortlessly demolished another vegan.
He said it again. It wasn't a mistake.
Yeah, effortlessly demolished another.
Did he?
I feel like I just effortlessly demolished another vegan. Right? Yeah,
I got you to
a killer diet. A vegan that promotes a killer diet that can't answer his way out of any
that was rough.
Hypothetical I give you, and you're giving me hypotheticals where you're comparing deers to children.
All right, well, thank you for logically contradicting yourself and naming 3 traits that you would not believe that it would be justified in the end to kill a being who had those traits.
You're wrong. When you listen to this back, right? Yeah, you'll hear that I say it was perfectly justified, just not righteous.
Okay. All right. Well, thanks, man, for coming on. And I'll keep listening to the rest of your debates and stuff.
There's a difference between justified and righteous. And I did highlight that, and you never actually counteracted it once. So, yeah, you got demolished.
Shut up.
So thanks for your time, George.
You got what?
So, yeah, you got demolished, mate. So thanks for your time,
I keep hearing
George.
an N. Demolished.
Yep.
So, yeah, you got demolished, mate. So thanks for your time, George.
All right.
Yep. Thanks for your time, mate. And catch you later, man. Thanks for coming on.
Yeah, man. I wish you all the best.
Cheers, mate.
Wow. Brian, Did you, how long were you here for? Are you okay? I'm not okay. I'm not okay. Because I got demonished. Just like you did. Just like Mary did. Just like Sally did. Just like Veg in the Woods did. Lewis got demonished way, way long time ago. He's gone. Obliterated. Obliterated. He got obliterated. Obliterated. I'm not okay. I'm gonna go eat some dinner, y'all. Moment of silence for us. I'm sorry I did that to you, Brian. Sorry, I'm sorry for what I've done today. There's no excuse. There's no excuse. I will do better. I'm sorry. You know, if you can find it in your hearts to accept my apology, everybody, hopefully we can move past this. But I'm gonna have to think long and hard about this one. All right. Well, if I still have a channel, I might just fold it now. But in case I keep the channel, if you could hit subscribe, don't hit like. Don't even. I don't need that pity like. Don't do it. I don't need your likes. I don't need your pity likes. But do hit the subscribe button. And yeah, we'll decide later if we continue this or not. But I'm rethinking everything now. We watched the whole thing, Veg in the Woods. This is the look of a man who has seen some things. I'm not the same as I was before I watched it. After I watched it the first time, I've watched it twice. Twice. It can't be unseen. It can't be undone. Well, all I can hope to do now is to get better, and it's going to be a long road. Hope you guys are going to be there for me.